Hello, Shane. Hello, everybody at Constellation Field, all the kids getting in free tonight. I've got our first winner thanks to Aero Plumbing. This is my friend Ralph, and he's holding up this lovely plunger that he's won. But that's not all, Ralph. You see those two big yellow foul poles out there? If any Skeeters ball player hits one off the pole during the game, you're going to be the winner of $500 thanks to Aero Plumbing. Well, this game is going to get going soon, so let's go Skeeters.
Welcome to Sugar Land, Texas. We're live at Constellation Field, home of your Sugar Land Skeeters. Your defending Atlantic League champions come in at 28-37. They are 9.5 games behind the front-running Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the Freedom Division. They take on the Long Island Ducks, who are 33-32. They are 7 games back, also in third place. However, in the Liberty Division, Skeeters will send out right-hander Jake Hale, 4-2, a 3.16 ERA. He will take on Southpaw Rafael Perez. The former big leaguer is 5-2 with a 3.43 ERA. Today is game number 65 of the season, home game number 36. You can hear all 140 home and road games here on 1560 AM. Hi, I'm Ira Liebman, joined by Andy Humphrey. Tim Costello back in the studio. We'll hear from him later for some updates. But, Andy, last night, Skeeters won 7-0. The big story was Michael Nix. Not only a shutout, his first complete game shutout of his career that lasted 9 innings, but when you look back at the last 3 games, or excuse me, the last 2 games of this series, the Skeeters outscored the Ducks 17-4. They out-hit them 24-7. In comparison, the first 3 games, the Skeeters were outscored 15-5 and out-hit 32-17. And I know you're saying, Ira, well, what's the big difference? And the big difference is starting pitching. They got a great outing by Mitch Talbot after that first inning where he allowed 3 runs. He had 4 scoreless, 9 scoreless last night. The Skeeter starters now 13 consecutive scoreless innings.
Yeah, they've definitely been on their game, but I think part of that is because of the offense, because this Skeeters lineup has put together 2 back-to-back 6-run second innings, giving that pitching staff a very early lead in these last 2 ball games, which I think has led to a little bit more comfortability for the pitching staff out there on the mound as they try to go deeper into the game. And certainly Michael Nix got as deep as you can get into the game last night, really settled in, and I think it's been a team effort so far to put together these couple of wins and get off that schneid that they were on.
Speaking of Michael Nix, I had a chance to sit down and talk to him, and he had this to say about his first ever 9-inning complete game, let alone it being a shutout.
You know, last night was really nice for me. It was really exciting not only to get the win, but for my first complete game shutout, my first 9-inning complete game period. You know, it's real special for that. I mean, it's really tough as a pitcher, especially in heat down here in Sugar Land, to be able to go that long. But since I've only been starting pitching since 2013, it's my first one. It's obviously really special, and I can't say anything better about the guys behind me. You know, I was trying to pitch contact early, and they were making the plays behind me, which makes it a lot easier to keep your pitch count down. But you know, not only to get the win, but to be able to share that and hopefully get a spark going for our team is not only good, but it might be really good for us down the road.
Well, the Skeeters are taking the field, and the Ducks are lining up the national anthem, ready to get underway. So we will duck out when we come back. The starting lineups and the first pitch, and it's time to play ball when we return right here to Constellation Field in just a moment.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Welcome back to Constellation Field. Time to take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Long Island Ducks. Starting lineup brought to you by MemberSource Credit Union, whether it's a Skeeters checking account, home loan, or auto loan. Be sure to check out MemberSource's complete lineup at membersourcecu.org. Leading off tonight, Valentine with the day off. It'll be Dan Lyons in the top spot. He'll be at short. Batting second and playing second is Elmer Reyes. Batting third is Angelo Sanko, the left-handed hitting first baseman. The DH, Lou Ford, is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth, Mark Krause, he'll be in left. Alex Berg is the catcher, batting sixth. Giovanni Alfonso bats seventh. He'll be at third. The switch hitting Delta Cleary Jr. in center bats eighth, and batting ninth, right fielder Anthony Vega.
Skeeters look like this in the field. From left to right in the outfield, it's Hector Oliveira, Anthony Jansanti, and Derek Miller. Left side of the infield, Brian Pounds at third, Kevin Aarons at short. Right side, first baseman is Travis Scott, second baseman Josh Prince. The backstop behind the plate, Albert Cordero, and he'll be catching the righty on the mound, Jake Hale.
Oh, we mentioned the first complete game shutout for Michael Nix in his career, also the first one this season, but it is the second complete game. The first complete game was by the man on the hill here tonight, Jake Hale. However, it was a loss back on May 16th. The Skeeters lost 2-0 to Somerset. That was actually when they got shut out in both games of a doubleheader. He pitched 8 innings, allowed 7 hits, and just 2 runs. Currently comes in ninth in the Atlantic League with a 3.16 ERA. Well, a little more about the Skeeters' Jake Hale, the 6'7" right-hander, 190 pounds, 31 years old. He was drafted on 3 different occasions. First time in 2005. That was by the Cleveland Indians. That was out of high school. And then in 2007, that was by Toronto in the 20th round out of Ohio State University, and finally drafted 2 years later, also out of Ohio State in 2009 by the D-backs in the 27th round. Last 3 starts, 1-1 with a 3.44 ERA. Last time out, he took the loss in a 5-1 loss to these Ducks. 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, no strikeouts and no walks, 73 pitches, 55 for strikes. That was in game 1 of this series. That was Hale's first day off the disabled list. And now they're doing that thing again where both a Ducks player and the Skeeters player stand in front of the dugout and play a little game of chicken, or maybe duck in this case, where they wait for the umpire to wave them back. Who wins that? Because the umpire waves them both back, doesn't he?
Well, I think Brett Marshall was the first to make his motion back to the dugout, so I think Delta Cleary Jr. won this one.
First pitch, here is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1, and we are underway. Game 6 of a 7-game series. It is the Ducks who have won 3 of the first 5, but the Skeeters have won the last 2. This one is a little bit low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Dan Lyons. The shortstop, 243 with a home run and 10 RBIs. Shadows are past the mound, so Hale and his catcher Cordero is where the batter in the shade, but everybody else in the sun. And this one going to be a base hit into left center field, and not the way the Skeeters wanted to start.
Nope, not the way, but and almost a back pick at first base as Dan Lyons made a long round at first, and they tried to catch him off guard there, but just unable to get there in time. But a little bloop hit, and Dan Lyons in the leadoff role for Phelan Lentinu started in the top spot for the first 5 games of this series.
A little bit more on what the Skeeters have done in the last 2 games. The Skeeters are 24 for 68 in the last 2 games. That is a 353 average compared to the 6-game losing streak where they were 42 for 194. That is a 216 mark. And big thank you for those numbers to Skeeters media relation guru Cody Davis. So if he's listening, thank you, Cody. No balls and 1 strike the count here to Elmer Reyes. 299 with a home run and 26 RBIs for the right-handed hitting second baseman. And not the superstitious type, where's number 13. They set up a way here. This one is hit to Princeton off of his mid. Should be able to get 1 out of this. He scrambles for it, gets up and throws it to second, so gets the force. And saw Prince do that last night. And Prince, such an aggressive player defensively. Sometimes it benefits him. So a great play he made at second last time, but sometimes he's a little too overzealous and stuff like that happens. But always good to have a guy that's a little too aggressive than not aggressive enough. Fielder's choice will go down 4-6. So replace Reyes for Lyons. 1 on and 1 out for Angelo Sanko. Zonko, the left-handed hitting first baseman, comes in at 276. He is tied for second in the league in home runs with 14, and he is tied for seventh in RBIs with 36. Hale looks at first at Reyes. And for a 6'7" right-hander, he has a phenomenal move. This one is hit to the left side. Pounds has it. He goes to second for one. The relay to first in time. Double play, a 5-4-3 twin killing, and that'll do it. No dead ducks here in the first. 3 up, 3 down the unconventional way. Ducks do not score here in the top of the first. Skeeters coming to bat for the first time when we return.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with Andrew. He's ready to take on Swatson in the mascot race. All right, Andrew, go ahead and take your spot over at first base. Swatson's got his lead at second. Are you really? Swatson's going to run backwards tonight. Let's see how that goes. All right, on your mark. Get set. Go. And they are off. Swatson's moving pretty fast backwards, actually. Good job. Keep going. But Andrew's coming in fast. He's coming quickly. Keep going. Uh-oh, that's what you get for running backwards. A little push by Andrew. I like it, and he's going to win the mascot race. Congratulations. Back up to you, Shane.
We move to the bottom of the first inning. Time to take a look at the starting lineup for your Sugar Land Skeeters. Starting lineup brought to you by MemberSource Credit Union, whether it's a Skeeters checking account, an auto loan, or a home loan. Be sure to check out MemberSource's complete lineup at membersourcecu.org. Leading off is Josh Prince. He'll be at second. Batting second is shortstop Kevin Ahrens. In the 3-hole, it's center fielder Anthony Jansanti. At first, Travis Scott. He'll be the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth, Brian Pounds at third. Wilfredo Rodriguez is the DH batting sixth. Hector Oliveira in left bat seventh. Batting eighth, catcher Albert Cordero. And batting ninth, Skeeters right fielder Derek Miller.
In the outfield for the Long Island Ducks from left to right, Mark Krause, Delta Cleary Jr., Anthony Vega. Left side of the infield, it's Giovanni Alfonso at third base, Dan Lyons at shortstop. Right side, Angelo Sanco at first, Elmer Reyes at second. The man behind the plate is Alex Berg, and he'll be catching the southpaw, Rafael Perez.
In steps the Skeeters Josh Prince. Prince, a great game last night, both offensively and defensively. Prince last night on base all 4 times, did not make an out. He was 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 2 walks, 2 steals, a run scored, and an RBI. Well, that's getting it done as the leadoff man. So on a strike on the outside corner. Also wasted about 30 pitches from the pitchers by himself. First pitch a strike to Prince. 0-1 the count. Comes in at 247. 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. This one swung, a slow roller left side. They're going to have to hurry to get Prince. Firing at third high is the first baseman Angelo Sanco, but he brings it down, tags Prince for out number 1. A little bit of a wide throw there by Alfonso.
Yeah, and a good play by Sanco. I'm not sure if he kept his foot on the bag or was able to apply the tag on Prince as he was pulled to his left side there, but still a very nice play, nice body control by Sanco at first.
A 1 out, none on. That'll bring in Kevin Ahrens. 280 for Ahrens, 5 home runs and 33 RBIs. Ahrens is currently tied for 4th in the league with 36 runs scored. He has 17 doubles, sole possession of second in that category. First pitch from the southpaw. This one outside, 1-0 from Rafael Perez, the former big leaguer. Perez last 3 starts, 2-1 with a 4.50 ERA. Against the Skeeters this year, just 1 game, 1-0 with a 3.43 ERA. This one is pelted into left field. That's going to be a base hit. And Skeeters have a man on and 1 out for Anthony Jansanti.
And Aarons keeps it rolling. He's now got a 6-game hitting streak with him after that base hit and gets that out of the way early. Been swinging a really nice bat as of late.
Well, that'll bring in Jansanti, who comes in 10th in the league and hitting at .303, 4 home runs and 23 RBIs. Anthony, 15 games since his franchise record 26-game hitting streak, just 13 for 57, a .228 mark. But starting to come around a little bit. Jansanti last night with that big blow, the 3-run homer, is 4th of the season. It was part of the second straight 6-run second. So expect the Skeeters to do nothing here in the first and another half a dozen runs in the second, naturally.
It's starting to be, we're going to be very primed to that over the next few days. We're just going to be disappointed when they score 5 runs in the second.
Exactly. As long as there is 5+, I think we'll be good to go. Wind blowing in from left center field. This one is high and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Jansanti, he is tied for second in the league in triples with 3. Never seen such a big bunch up for triples. When you look at the league leaders in triples, you see a big gap. You see Michael Kraus of New Britain with 6, and then 4 different players tied with 3, including Jansanti. This one right down the middle for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Umpires for tonight, Mike Durantes is calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Brian Page is at first, and Greg Oros, last night's home plate umpire, at third. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Good hit and run count. We'll see if Aarons takes off here. Doesn't go a lot, but when he does, he is successful. 3-0 in stolen base attempts. That's a decent lead over at first. Perez paying a lot of attention to him. Now time called. That was by the catcher, Alex Berg. Going to be a little different for the Ducks speed-wise here today. Vela Lentini is out of the lineup. He has 27 stolen bases. As a team, the Ducks only have 57, so just 30 steals between everybody else. So maybe the Skeeters can take advantage, run a little bit more, and the Ducks will not be able to counter as well. Aaron still leading over there at first. Take a step towards second now. Throw over to first. Well, Aarons has the eye of Perez.
If I recall, Ira, the Ducks, even with Lentini in the lineup, haven't even been running very much on the Skeeters in the first place.
I think you're correct, actually.
I think only 1 stolen base by Lentini in the series, and I don't think anybody else has another.
That sounds exactly right. Credit some of the Skeeters pitchers and their catchers. Aarons looks like he's going to go, and Perez thinks so as well. Throws it high to first, but Sanko goes up to get that one. Well, Perez, decent amount of big league time, 7 years in the bigs, all with the Indians from 2006 through 2012. 21-12 with a 3.64 ERA, and really his best year in 2010. He was 6-1 with a 3.25 ERA, and that was all out of the bullpen. 70 appearances that year. That is a lot. The 2-1 by Perez. This one high and outside and off the mid of Alex Berg, so Aaron's not going to have to steal second. You go down, and that was high and outside. Should have been caught. See if they scored that a pass ball or wild pitch. I personally scored a pass ball.
That's a pass ball if I've ever seen one. Yes, it was high and outside, but not very much out of the reach of Alex Berg as he tried to get that just above his right shoulder there, and it just glanced off the top of his glove. And yes, it is a pass ball.
A runner down at second with only 1 away for Jansanti, and now 3-1 to Anthony, so he'll get a good pitch to hit here. The lefty from the set will look at second, kick and deal. That's one swung and fouled straight back. Good cut by Anthony. Count is now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on number 21. No score here, bottom of the first. Ira leaving along with Andy Humphrey. Skeeters trying to even up this series at 3 games apiece. Ducks lead it 3-2. Long Island won the first 3 games. Skeeters have won the last 2 games.
And after they won those first 3 games, you'd be shocked if the Skeeters really had a chance to try and tie up the series at this point, because they were not playing well, but they have really been focused in the last couple games, getting some good pitching performances
This one swung and a missed, strike 3. So Jan Santi, the first strikeout victim of Perez. 2 outs, 1 on. Travis Scott will step in. Scott comes in 247 home runs, but he is currently 6th in the league with 35 RBI, so he's still driving in runs. Scott been hitting at a 271 clip as of late. In the last 16 games, he is 16 for 59, but he has driven in 15 RBIs in those 16 games, so though he's not hitting for a high average, he is still producing runs, hence the cleanup spot. So 2 outs, runner still down at second, and Kevin Aarons, no score here, bottom of the first. This one swung, a hit to the right side, and diving for it is the first baseman. The pitcher, Perez, will cover. It's going to be your rare 4-1 putout, and that will do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base through 1 inning. There's no score between the Skeeters and the Long Island Ducks.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with James. He's ready to take on the stolen base race. All right, James, there's a base out there in right field. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to go down and steal it and bring it back to me. You ready? All right, let's put the countdown up on the board, please. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, he's running nice and fast, already almost out there to that base. Bring it all the way back to me. Let's make some noise for him, fans. Easy, keep coming. Wow, great job, James. Plenty of time to spare. He's going to be the winner of the Texas Mattress Makers Stolen Base Race. Back up to you, Shane.
Little Motown here on the broadcast, thanks to our own Tim Costello back in the studio. No score as we move to the top of the first. Very unconventional 1-2-3 first, so it'll be 4, 5, and 6 here for the Ducks. Lou Ford, Mark Krause, and Alex Berg. In the first, the Ducks got a leadoff single by Dan Lyons, and then Elmer Reyes hit into a fielder's choice, and then a double play by Sanko. Lou Ford, one of only 2 hits the Ducks had last night, and of course Ford had 1 of them in the ninth. You could just see, had that been a no-hitter up until that point, it would have been Ford to spoil it.
Yep.
The only other hit on the night was Giovanni Alfonso in the 5th as Michael Nix pitched a gem, a 9-inning complete game shutout with just 2 hits allowed. He did not walk a batter and struck out 8. 1-1 the count here on Ford. 260 for Lou, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. A little roller back to the mound. And we'll toss it over to first, and there's 1 away. And rarely do you retire Lou Ford on a little squibber back to the mound. So 1 out, none on. Mark Krause will step in. 269, 7 home runs, and 31 RBIs. And we talked a little bit in the pregame show, Andy, but you know, they got good pitching the last 2 nights, and you kind of mentioned that the pressure was off because it seemed like during that 6-game losing streak, every time the Skeeters came to the plate, they were down 1-0, 3-0, and it gets exhausting. And I think mentally as a hitter, it kind of, you know, you're pressured to try to get some runs just to get back in it, just to even it up instead of taking a lead. And I think when you get good pitching, which they did, already we saw dividends in the 2nd inning both nights in a row.
Yeah, it certainly was a big weight off their shoulders. In the first 3 games of the series against Long Island, before that 6-run second, they had not led in any point in that series before that 6-run second on Monday night.
This one misses a little low and away. 2-0 here on Krause. Krause has hit safely in 13 of his last 16 ball games. The left-hand hitting left fielder up 2-0 here on Hale. This one swung on, popped up, and shading his eye as short as Kevin Aarons. I can't even see it. It's on the right side now. Over the mound is Brian Pounds. Comes down on the right side of the mound by first base. Route number 1. I'll say it before I say it again. Hale was standing right there.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous play for Pounds. He goes up and then he goes down and then is able to catch the ball while running across that pitching bump out there, and good concentration. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes the pitcher wants to get out of the way. Sometimes he wants to take it himself. Usually it just depends on the guy.
All Hale had to do is step a couple of steps to his left and not have to go over a mound, and would have had an easy play. Either way, 2 outs and none on. And the first pitch here, a strike to Alex Berg. That was a great pitch by Hale. It actually had Berg bailing out and caught the outside corner. 0-1. No score here, top of the second inning. This one swung a bullet to his third. Nice play by Pounds. Grabs it into his chest, the toss across in time, and that'll do it. So an unconventional 1-2-3 inning in the first, a 1-2-3 of the regular variety here in the second. Middle of the second, it is still scoreless between the Skeeters and the Ducks.
I'm over here in section 20, row E with the Dyke family, and they were upgraded to the best seats in the house thanks to Fort Bend Kia.
The All-Stars are coming. The All-Stars are coming. Join the Sugar Land Skeeters All-Stars in Somerset at TD Bank Ballpark on Wednesday, July 12th. With the Atlantic League will join together for the playing of the league's 20th Atlantic League All-Star Game. Skeeters had the All-Star Game here in 2014. It was the Skeeters versus the rest of the league. What do you think about those type of matchups?
Well, Skeeters and the rest of the league was certainly unique.
And they won, too.
They did. They sure did. Tracy McGrady pitched in that game. And that was kind of an unconventional way because, you know, you've got all those teams up there in the East, and they just decided to take some of their guys, not travel every single All-Star that maybe deserved it, and just have them play some of the Skeeters players.
First pitch here is a strike by the lefty. Skeeters and Ducks are scoreless. It'll be Brian Pounds, Wilfredo Rodriguez, and Hector Oliveira. Pounds 177, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs. The 0-1, this one is low and in. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Brian. Perez has played winter ball the last couple of years in the Dominican Winter League. 2016, 4-0 with a 1.42 ERA. One swung and missed, and a ball that darted low and into Pounds. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Pounds just 8 for his last 64, a 125 mark over his last 18 ball games. They're trying to straighten out that swing, but seems like he's getting very close to going on a tear. Much better swings, much better at bats. Eventually it will lead to consistent hitting. The 1-2 is fouled at the plate. Just got a piece of that, Pounds, and I think that might have got a piece of Berg as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think his mask came off a bit when that ricocheted off the ground and then into his face. Looked a little bit shaken up afterwards, but seems to pop straight up. He says he's okay, but he's really not.
Skeeters reached the 1 million mark just before that 2014 All-Star game that the Skeeters hosted here. They're closing in on 2 million, 6,543 fans away. Skeeters should hit that tomorrow night. This one is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Pounds. The Ducks are over the 7 million mark in their franchise history, and they did not get started until the 3rd year of the Atlantic League, and they have the most fans ever over the course of the Atlantic League, 7,153,896. So on Swan, a hit right back to Perez. Fields it to the right side of the mound. One knee, throws it to first a little low, but grabbed by Sanko, the first baseman, and there's one down.
It's exactly what they tell you to do. If you're in a slump, you try and hit it up the middle, but that time Pounds hit it pretty well off the bat, I thought at first, but a couple bounces to the pitcher slowed that down a bit and made it a bit easier play for Rafael Perez.
So 1 out, none off for Wilfredo Rodriguez. Rodriguez on an absolute tear right now. 320, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. We'll see if Wilfredo can continue his hot hitting, going the other way extremely well as he does when he's on a roll. Last 19 games, he is hitting a whopping 358, going 24 for 67. He has 7 multi-hit games during that span, 10 runs scored, 10 RBIs to add as well. First pitch here is a strike, no balls and 1 strike to count. Rodriguez certainly the hottest member of the Skeeters right now. Swan, a little swinging bunt up the third base line. The catcher Berg spins, fires, throws to first, and they'll get Rodriguez 2-3 on the putout. So a 1-3 putout, a 2-3 putout. That'll bring in Hector Oliveira, also starting to get on a roll, riding a 7-game hitting streak, going 11 for 26 during that streak, hitting a blistering 423. We'll see if Oliveira can continue his hot streak. Oliveira last night, 2 for 4 with a run scored. Oh, in steps number 36. Overall, Oliveira 292 with a home run and 7 RBIs. Played in the Puerto Rican Winter League, but did not really play this year at all until joining the Skeeters. So still trying to get his feet under him, and this guy just has a world of talent if he can get going. You got to almost give him 30 days. I mean, that's what you would do in spring training. Even though the Atlantic League spring training is much shorter than that. The 1-0. Swan and chop foul. That one in and out of the Ducks dugout on the left side. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, none on. No score here in the bottom of the second. The Skeeters scored 6 runs in each of the last 2 games in the second inning. Oliveira playing in just his 18th game with the Skeeters. I figure probably be right where he needs to be. Another dozen ball games. Swan hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Oliveira is now hitting 8 straight, continues his hot hitting, and maybe here we go again. So a couple of nights ago, it was the 6th inning where the first 2 batters were out, and then 7 straight hits led to a 6th run inning.
Yeah, and amazingly, last night's 6-run inning also came with 2 outs in the inning. All 6 runs scored after the second out. Pretty amazing how the Skeeters have been able to put together clutch hitting like that, going station to station in the bottom part of the lineup and then turning over to the top 3 guys.
See if they can continue that trend here as the Skeeters switch hitting catcher steps in. Albert Cordero. Cordero batting from the right side against the southpaw Rafael Perez. Cordero comes in 276 with 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. They'll set up inside, and this one is a little bit inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Take a look quickly at the pitching count here on Perez. So far, he has thrown 23 pitches, 15 of them for strikes. Perez looks at first at Oliveira. This one is low and in. Still have not gotten a chance to see how much speed Oliveira has. He doesn't really go very often. Of course, he wasn't on very much to start, but he has stolen 1 base and been caught once. Not really a good timetable to kind of take a look at. Actually, he has not attempted a stolen base. I stand corrected. So you speed in the outfield, but certainly different when you're running the bases. They set up inside here. The 2-0. This one is a strike on the inside corner. 2-1 here to Cordero. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. No score here in the bottom of the second. Ira Liebman along with Andy Humphrey. Tim Costello back in the studios will also give us updates throughout the game. Perez kind of gathers himself to the left, then comes set, and comes home. This one chopped foul at the plate. Berg picks it up, tags Cordero, but called foul immediately by Mike Durantis.
There's also strike 2, so you don't really need to put on the tag there.
Good point.
But usually it's sort of a habit for a catcher back there. If it's in the dirt first and you don't handle it there, you kind of get used to tagging the runner, whether it's the first strike or the third.
Shadows all the way across the infield and in right field. The only ones in the sun is center fielder Delta Cleary Jr. and left fielder Mark Krause. Perez looks at Oliveira at first. He'll come home, and this one is swung on and fouled off to the right side. That'll make the seats. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. No runs on 1 hit for the Ducks. No runs on 2 hits for the Skeeters. Oliveira at first with 1 of them. The other one, Kevin Aarons, in the first. It was pretty hot tonight, but it's cooling off as the sun goes down. Currently 87 degrees. Humidity at 66 and a 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left center. The 2-2 by the lefty. This one low and in, stopped by Berg as he keeps that one in front of him. 3-2. So now Oliveira will be moving here on the pitch. Got to be careful of those crafty lefties not to leave too early. And we got to come up with a good pun for right-handers. Lefties, no matter, even if they throw 99 miles an hour, they're still crafty. Righties are just righties.
Yeah, you don't have something like a southpaw.
Exactly.
Northpaw?
A northpaw.
Is that the opposite? I don't know.
The polar opposite. The 3-2 is fouled off, so Oliveira will come back. Northpaw. You're onto something there. I think we have to add something a little to that.
I think that's the only reasonable option.
But if Santa Claus is at the North Pole, who's at the South Pole?
Yeah, just a bunch of penguins.
That's right, there are no penguins in the North Pole. We'll do the 3-2 again here as we have Christmas in June here. We had Christmas in July. Christmas in July in May here at Constellation Field one year. Payoff pitch, swung and slash foul. That one down the right field side. Oliveira will have to come back again. A good battle here between Cordero and Perez. That was the 7th pitch.
I think that was actually, on my count it was 8, but either way it was Albert Cordero who really fought back with 1-2 and had to work it to 2-2, and now with the full count here. And this can really affect a pitcher's pitch count, as Perez is now going to throw pitch number 30 here in the second.
Again, the payoff pitch here to Cordero. Oliveira on the move, and we'll see a 10th pitch. For that pitch, 30 pitches for Perez. 2-1 strike-to-ball ratio. 20 for strikes, 10 for balls. Cordero is going to wear out some of his arsenal here in the second. No score here in the bottom of the second.
And Perez is now throwing 30 pitches. His counterpart, Jake Hale, has only thrown 14 through the first 2.
That's a good sign. So usually pitches deep into games. We'll probably do it again here. Payoff pitch here by the southpaw Perez. There goes Oliveira. This one's swung and missed strike 3. So a 10-pitch battle goes to Perez as he strikes out Cordero, his 2nd strikeout of the evening. And that'll do it here for the Skeeters. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We are through 2, and we're still scoreless. Well, Constellation Field and Dick's Sports will host National Pro Fast Pitch Softball on July 20th and 21st from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For $65, campers ages 8 to 13 will get coaching tips from professional softball players along with many other prizes. Plus, join us for the 3 National Pro Fast Pitch Softball games, first at 7:05 on July 20th, and then a doubleheader on July 21st at 3:30 for Game 1 and 7:05 for Game 2. For more information, sign up. Visit SugarlandSkeeters.com. Well, bottom of the order here in the top half of the third in a scoreless contest. Giovanni Alfonso, Delta Cleary Jr., and Anthony Vega against Skeeters right-hander Jake Hale. First pitch here is a strike down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to count. Alfonso 322, no home runs, 21 RBIs. To qualify for the league leaders, you need to have 2.7 at-bats per game, and Alfonso just under that at about 2.4 and change. So if he had qualified at 322, he would find himself 7th in the league in hitting. Qualify soon enough. The 0-2 coming here from Hale. Cordero will set up inside, and the 0-2. This one in the dirt, 1-2. And Andy, we were talking before the game. I know it's still early, and there's still almost another second half to go, but MVP could be difficult. Barfield, who is looking like he might repeat, he's been picked up. Andy Wilkins, who picked up for Barfield, looked like he could have a shot at it. He was picked up. This one is nubbed foul at the plate. Count remains 1-2. Jerry Sands from Somerset looked like he could have an MVP type season, was picked up. And today, Casey Hobson, who would be a shoo-in, leading the world in just about every category, he was picked up today by the Giants. So might be the battle of the least most valuable player.
Well, maybe, and I hope we don't have to stoop that far, but it certainly has been a very successful year for the Atlantic League, getting some of these guys back into affiliated ball, and I think that's what it's mostly about. So the MVP race could be, won by somebody like, maybe a Phelan Lentini, who's been here for a while, or a Lou Ford, who's hitting much better than Lentini is this year. Lentini probably a good candidate for last season, but it probably has to go with somebody who is an everyday player and has been really consistently putting it through. And so far, there haven't been too many guys like that. I'm wondering what you might think about Anthony Jansanti's.
That's a name I was just going to throw at you.
There.
I would say if he hits for a little more power as we go on, I think he would be a
does
definite
need to
candidate.
pick up the home runs.
And this one clips Alfonso in the back and still caught by Cordero as he turned his back towards the pitcher. Hit by pitch, runner down at first, 1 on and 1 out for Delta Cleary Jr. Yeah, I saw the home run by Jansanti last night. That's 4 for the year. You figure if he picks it up just a little bit in the second half, he'll at least be in double digits, and he can bat over 300. I think also Sean Burrows, who is always amongst the league leaders and usually amongst the top 3 in hitting, even at his age, won the batting title 2 years ago. He could be a candidate for Bridgeport, especially if they wind up making the playoffs. They still have a shot with 5 games to go. They're 3 games out, but Bridgeport makes it close. It'll probably be because of Burrows. This one, a fastball that misses outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Burrows has a good case, and really, going back to Jansanti, I try and wonder where this Skeeters team would be without a guy like that. And the way that he was consistently hitting during that long 26-game hitting streak that he had near the beginning of the season, the fact that he can go out there and play multiple positions pretty well in the infield and outfield.
Throw over the first, diving back in as Alfonso. Another guy that you need to consider, too, is the guy we've seen in this game. That's Angelo Sanco, 276, 14 home runs, 36 RBIs. He is 4th in the league in total bases with 111. He is 3rd in the league in runs scored with 35. I mean, he could wind up with 30 home runs this year.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of power. We haven't really seen him perform pretty well in this series. He's been struggling a bit, but he definitely has a shot.
Struggling to say the least. He is 0 for his last 14. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Delta Cleary Jr. A switch hitter batting here from the left side, came in 211 with a home run and 16 RBIs. Of course, a whole second half to go. Darian Sanford could have been another one of those guys. He's been picked up. Get a good chance to break the Atlantic League stolen base record. This one is grounded to second. This could be 2. Slowly hit Prince hurries it to throw to first, not in time, so it'll be a fielder's choice to second. It'll go down short to second. 6-5 on the putout. So 1 on and 1 out. So Delta Cleary Jr. will take over for Alfonso. And that'll bring in Anthony Vega. A left-hander hitting left fielder, 224 with a home run and 10 RBIs. I think of what other candidates we could consider here.
Sean Holton of Lancaster also has a pretty good shot, the home run leader now.
It's not a bad choice. And Michael Snyder of Southern Maryland, especially winning the first half, where would they be without him? He doesn't get a lot of accolades because he's just very consistent. But he is tied for second in home runs and usually hits around 280 or so and drives in a decent amount of runs. Those are the top candidates. I think we've covered them. The 0-1 here to Vega from the Skeeters right-hander, and 6'7" right-hander at that, Jake Hale. Long hold here by Hale, trying to upset the timing of Delta Cleary Jr. Delta Cleary Jr. have a bit of an offseason here at the plate, but always a threat to steal. 13 steals in 16 attempts. The 0-1 here by Hale. This one swung and missed. Get a chance to look at the repertoire of Mr. Hale. Just so consistent out there. Just not walk too many batters. Hale, fastball, slider, change, cutter, and a sinker. Hale really paying attention to Cleary Jr. down there, and this one is skied into right field. Derek Miller's underneath it, and he'll bring it down for out number 2. So 2 outs, none on. Delta Cleary Jr. back to first. We go back to the top of the order. Dan Lyons, who has the only hit of the game for the Ducks in this scoreless contest here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Well, Lyons will step in. 243 coming in with a home run and 10 RBIs. Pitcher of the Year could be a different story. Defending Pitcher of the Year, Jonathan Albaladeo, not having a good year, though Somerset might have a couple of candidates for Pitcher of the Year. Hale could be one of those guys, maybe even Nix. Go to first. Diving back in head first is Cleary Jr.
Yeah, you've got a few guys in the mix there. Brian Grenning has had a great year for Southern Maryland, 6-1 with a 2.44 earned run average. Rick Teasley, you mentioned earlier, Somerset has had a really nice pitching staff, and it's been led by the big starter Teasley. Been a little bit surprising by Rainey Lara from Bridgeport. He's come on his first year in this league and has really dominated well, 6-3 with a 2.53.
Yeah, he's been great. In fact, he was phenomenal in one of his starts against the Skeeters. So everybody in the shade now here as the clock strikes 7:51. So not only on the outfield wall, on the left center and center field wall. This one is low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 on. No score here in the top of the 3rd. Hale, usually a quick worker, really slowed by Delta Cleary Jr. Granted, does have speed, but he is focused all his concentration on the runner at first. The 1-1. This one chopped slowly to 3rd. Pounds will charge, pick it up barehanded, fire it to first in time. Terrific play by Pounds. Always great down there, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. Middle of the 3rd. Ware still scoreless.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm over here in Section 6 with Patrick, and he's ready to take on the Assured Float Solutions baseball movie trivia. Let's take a look at the question. In the 1976 movie, The Bad News Bears, what was the team manager's name? I'll give you 3 choices. Was it A, Mr. Whitewood, B, Mr. Buttermaker, or C, Mr. Bedgood?
B.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
You sounded pretty sure. Let's see if that's right. It is. Congratulations. Nice and easy for you. You are going to be the winner of 25 Skeeter bucks thanks to Assured Float Solutions. Back up to you, Shane.
We move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Derek Miller, Josh Prince, Kevin Aarons here. Some pretty good table setters here. 9, 1, and 2. Scoreless here as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. Derek Miller, the only batter for either team not to hit yet. Miller came in at .232, 4 home runs, and 21 RBIs. First pitch here to Derek. He's a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Miller last night was on base twice without getting a hit. A walk and a hit by pitch, also scored a run. The 1-0 here from the southpaw Perez. Swung and hit high in the air to left center field of a playable Lou Ford. Will grab it to his left towards left center for out number 1. I thought off the bat that might go a little further.
Yeah, I thought so too, and the wind blowing in from left center field may have pushed that back towards the field of play, and looked pretty casual out there from the left fielder Kraus.
We go back to the top of the order with Josh Prince. Prince grabbed it at the 3rd his first time up. He is 0 for 1. Came in at .247 with 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. He has walked 33 times and scored 37 times. What does that tell you? Get on base. This one a little bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. No score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Skeeters starters have now gone 15 consecutive innings without allowing a run. This one is chopped foul. Back into the left of home plate, right near the Ducks on deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Again, no score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Perez gets the side from his catcher, Berg. Berg will sit up inside, and this one is a check swing, a little low and in. 2 balls and a strike here on Prince. Looks like all the clouds are moving out of the area, which is good. Perez still working quickly out there. He'll wind and fire the 2-1 here to Prince. Swung and smashed and under the diving glove of shortstop Dan Lyons towards second, and the Skeeters will have their 3rd hit of the night. Prince will probably go at some point here. Prince has reached base in 5 of his last 6 at-bats. Kevin Aarons will come in. He has 1 of the 3 Skeeters hit. He had the first. Got to second on a pass ball, but was stranded. We'll bat here with a scoreless tie here in the bottom of the 3rd. Aarons came in .280 with 5 home runs and 33 RBIs. Aarons, a Houston native, former 1st-round pick. Try to get the Skeeters on the board first here. And there goes Prince. Had a good jump. The throw down to second. It is way wide and it goes into right center. Prince now gets up and didn't know where the ball was. He'll have to stop as center fielder Delta Cleary Jr. charges. That'll be a stolen base for Prince, who is really starting to pile up steals over the last few games. That is his 17th steal of the season. Prince
Kind of a way that he lulls the catcher to sleep there is he doesn't really take too big of a lead off of first. Kind of puts his hands on the hips a little bit. Doesn't look like he is trying to make an aggressive lead, and then all of a sudden he jolts out and catches the battery off guard a bit. And that time Prince with a very nice jump. And if the throw was a little bit better, it would have been a little bit of a closer play. But Prince, I think, still would have made it.
As I mentioned, Prince 17 steals. He stole 24 all of last season. Skeeters' single season record. Adam Godwin at his 50, so might have a shot at it. This one fouled off to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, no score here, bottom of the third. Skeeters trying to strike first, with Prince down at second and only 1 away. Let's see if Aarons can get it done here. Skeeters have not really had to worry about runners in scoring position. 2 outs in the last 2 games. They've just been hitting a ton whenever. Perez deals home, and this one fouled down the right side. I'll run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Kevin.
Yeah, and certainly through the second time through the order for the Skeeters, they have really been successful, especially in the first 3 hitters in the lineup. Josh Prince, 2 for 2 the second time through the lineup. And so is Aarons, and so is Jansanti.
Aarons down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch by Perez is slashed down the right side. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Perez has thrown a lot of pitches already. 42 in all, 28 for strikes, exactly a 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio, 28 for strikes, 14 for balls. All set up inside again. Perez looks at second, comes home, and this one is Swanee hits to third. Tough hob. Alfonso has it. He chases Prince back to second. He'll throw it to first for the 5-3 put out, and there's 2 down. Now we're going to pause 10 seconds here for a station identification. It'll be up to Anthony Jansanti to try to give the Skeeters a 1-0 lead with 2 down. Jansanti, the Connecticut native, a former 49th round pick of the A's originally in 2009, although he wound up spending all of his career with the Cubs, not as high as AAA with Chicago on 2 different occasions, with Iowa in 2013 and 2015. This pitch here is low and in, 1 ball and no strikes to count. The Connecticut native spent time in Connecticut here in the Atlantic League last year. After starting the season with the Cubs AA team, the Tennessee Smokies, he spent 91 games with Bridgeport last year, hit .247 with 6 home runs, 35 RBIs, and stole 8 bases. Really having a much better year here this year. This one a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike, so he skated in, traded in Bridgeport blue for Skeeters blue. Skeeters might be the only team who wear blue uniforms who don't have blue in their name. Blue Fish, Blue Crabs both wear blue.
Patriots got a little bit of blue though, right?
I guess
Navy.
well, yeah, because of the whole Patriot theme, the red,
Yeah.
white, and blue, but
There you go.
more white. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. No runs on 3 hits for the Skeeters. No runs on just 1 hit for the Ducks. Ducks in their last 11 innings have just 3 hits. 1 and 2 here on number 2-1, Anthony Jansanti. Anthony 303, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs. Perez looks at second at Prince. He'll come home, and this one straightens up Jansanti. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner down at second, Josh Prince. And we're scoreless here in the bottom of the third. Perez slowing down a bit here. Closing in on 50 pitches. This will be pitch number 48 here in the third. The 2-2. This one high and outside. That'll run the count full 3-2. Good job by Jansanti laying off that one. He was tempted but held on. Now Prince will stay put on the payout pitch with no force behind him. Perez paying a lot of attention to him, so Prince goes back to the second base bag. Now he takes his lead. Perez at a standstill here on the mound. Now he's ready. If they set up inside or outside, they'll set up inside. The payoff pitch, Swan in, taking the mask off the catcher, Berg. And Jan Santi, good sportsmanship, goes back to see if he's okay, picks up his mask. We'll do the 3-2 again as that one was fouled off. I don't know how he got a piece of the ball and the mask. That's not an easy chore.
Yeah, and it certainly, I think maybe the ball got a piece of the mask as well. It came straight off the head of Alex Berg, and that's the second time that's happened today.
So Jan Santi steps out of the box to give Berg a little more time. This is one time the umpires will allow the pace of play rules staying in the box to go away, as Jan Santi just trying to help out his opponent. Payoff pitch again here to Jan Santi. This one low near the feet, ball 4, and that'll be the first free pass issued by Perez. And the Skeeters have 2 on with 2 out here in the third, and a scoreless contest.
Hard-fought battle by Jan Santi there as he works the walk after fouling off a couple of pitches, and see if Travis Scott can try and break out of this little slump that he's been in. He has been hitting pretty well in this last 10 to 20 games, but in this series has had some trouble, and certainly against Rafael Perez, a lefty, he has to try and focus up here.
Scott will bat here with 2 on and 2 out. Look at the numbers on Travis in these situations here as he settles into the box. Scott usually very good. He is batting .320 in 25 at bats with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, including 9 RBIs. So pretty clutch hitting. First pitch here, swung and missed on a ball that tied him up, a high, tight fastball. No balls and 1 strike to count. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third. Skeeters with 3 hits, the Ducks with just 1. The Skeeters pitcher's been this good, or has the Ducks bat just gone completely cold here?
A little bit of both, I would say.
See if they come back inside. Nope, looks like they're going to set up away here. The 0-1, check swing, low and away. Like a slider there, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Perez now past 50 pitches in his last start against the Skeeters in the first game of the series. He lasted 82 pitches through 5 2/3 innings, and he's a little bit off of that pace here tonight. Skeeters have already gotten halfway to the pitch count than he had in his last start.
Perez now steps off as Prince, very good at distracting pitchers, darted back and forth at second. Prince not only good at distracting pitchers, extremely good at reading them. If you don't pay attention to him, he will steal third on you. The 1-1. Swan and fouled over our heads here behind home plate. 1-2 the count here on Scott. And a pretty good rip at that one. Picking up a bit in left center field, which is bad news for Scott and all lefties. Very difficult. The wind generally blowing in from left center makes it extremely difficult for a left-handed hitter to hit it out here in Constellation Field. Righties not so much. Perez looks at second. He will kick and deal home. This one is outside. I think Berg and Perez were crossed up on there and kind of jumped outside of the pitch out.
Looked like Berg was the one expecting the pitch out, and then Perez, I think, just threw a breaking ball on the outside. Luckily, it was a little bit to the outside of that plate and wasn't on the inside portion, or else that one's to the backstop.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Scoreless here in the bottom of the third. The 2-2, Swan in into left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Prince around third. He'll score easily. Going to third as well is Giansanti, and the Skeeters take a 1-0 lead.
Really nice job by Scott. That pitch was on the outside edge. He went down and got it, and placed it nicely into that gap in left center field. It sliced away from the center fielder, Cleary Jr., who was already shaded to the right-hand side, so a very tough play for him to try and get to the receiving end of that, and Scott puts Skeeters on the board.
So now 55 pitches for Perez. Maybe the Skeeters have another big inning in them with 2 down as Brian Pounds, the number 5 hitter, steps in. Pounds grounded back to Perez his first time up. Brian came in 177, 3 home runs and 19 RBIs. They set up inside here on Brian. This one swung and chopped over the head of Perez this time. The shortstop Lyons will step on second himself, and that will do it. The Skeeters strike first. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. A third of the way through, end of the 3rd inning, is now the Skeeters 1 and the Ducks nothing.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, tonight we have Logan and Bear versus Ethan and Andrew. All right, here's the deal. The contestants on the far end are going to climb through that tube. Once they get to the end, they're going to run down, tag their teammate. Their teammate's then going to put their head on the bat, spin around 5 times, get nice and dizzy, jump on that hoppy ball, and race back to the finish line. Are you guys ready? Get set, go. All right, who's going to get out of the tube first? It looks like the team closest to me. Tag your teammate. Spin around 5 times, nice and dizzy. All right, it's gonna be a close one. Make some noise. Who's gonna be the winner tonight? Keep going. Uh-oh, man down. All right, looks like the far team is gonna be the winner of the My Just Kids relay race. And just for that, your section up there is going to get a free hour at My Just Kids. Back up to you, Shane.
Well, we move to the top of the 4th inning. Skeeters struck first. They have the lead, and it's always handy to have my friend Andy Humphrey to take you through the next few. Andy?
Thank you, Ira. It'll be the 2-3-4 part of the lineup for the Long Island Ducks. Elmer Reyes, Angelo Sanko, Lou Ford do up to the plate against the righty for the Skeeters, Jake Hale. Just 29 pitches through the first 3 innings for Jake as he retakes the mound in the 4th with the Skeeters up 1-0.
Almost twice that for Perez. He finished last inning with 56.
So a good discrepancy in the Skeeters' favor so far as the first pitch to Reyes is swung on and fouled to the right side, out of play. 0-1 to Reyes, who is 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice in the first.
I always talk about how difficult it is to get a walk from Hale. He has not allowed a walk in either of his last 2 starts. None here tonight as well so far.
Here's the 0-1. That's a ground ball foul to the left side, 0-2. And keep in mind that this is Hale's 2nd start since returning from the disabled list. In his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs. Interesting here, no walks and no strikeouts in his last start. You don't see that very often. But it was against these Long Island Ducks in the first game of this series on Friday, and he ended up picking the loss in that contest. 0-2. Breaking ball misses low and away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alma Reyes. Right-handed batter against the righty on the mound, Jake Hale. 1-0 Skeeters in the top of the 4th. The windup in the 1-2. Right back up the middle and through the hole for a base hit. So Reyes will be a leadoff base runner in the 4th for the Long Island Ducks.
Took the Ducks 9 innings to get 2 hits yesterday, and have 2 hits here in the 4th.
Angelo Sanko, the batter, grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. His first time up in the first inning. That was the 62nd double play the Skeeters have turned this season. And compared to the rest of the league, Skeeters in that category are about middle of the pack, as this pitch is low and away for ball one. Came into the night with 61, which was good for fourth. One ball and no strike to Angelo Sanko. Hale brings it to the letters. Will move to first. And getting back safely is Reyes.
Mentioned the team kind of comparisons with that 9-inning complete game shutout yesterday of the Ducks. Skeeters knocked the Ducks down to last in team hitting at 250.
And they didn't come into this series a very well-hitting ball club either. And they got him picked off at first base. Going to second base is Reyes. Scott will be the one to apply the tag, and they erase the base runner Reyes for out number one.
The 1-3 caught stealing officially.
So a big out number one there for Hale, who has a very good pickoff move. He's picked off quite a few runners this year.
You would think a guy that tall with all those mechanics, really kind of hard to have a good pickoff move, but he's got a great one.
And that back foot really hops off quickly, and really nice footwork towards first base. Now the 1-0 to Angelo Sanko is just off the inside corner for ball two.
Close pitch there, maybe a little low.
1-0 Skeeters, one out here in the top of the fourth inning. 2-0 pitch is slammed down the right field line, but this will hook foul and out of play. Well struck by Sanko, who is struggling as of late. Now 0 for his last 15 at-bats. 0 for last 14 at-bats, excuse me. In this series, he is 2 for 18. Came in as one of the hottest hitters for the Long Island Ducks as he hits this 2-1 pitch high in the air to left field. Back near the track is Oliveira. He comes in a few steps now to make the grab for the second out. So 2 away now for Hale in this top half of the fourth, with the designated hitter Lou Ford coming to the plate. Ford 0 for 1. He grounded back to the pitcher in the second. And one of the hottest hitters for the Ducks, along with Sanko, in the middle of that order for Long Island, as he takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner, 0-1. But he has struggled in this series as well, 4 for 23. Now he has driven in 5 RBIs, still putting the ball in play and getting runners across as he takes one away to make it 1-1. But just not getting the base hits that we're used to seeing him getting throughout this season. Quickly, the 1-1 pitch from Hale is grounded slowly to the left-hand side, charging in Pounds, gloves it, throws to first, and it's wide of the bag and comes off the wall. Looks like Ford will try to race back to first base, and he will stay there, and we'll see how this is ruled. Should be an infield single, tough play for Pounds, and meanwhile, it looks like Travis Scott is down on the ground, and the trainer for the Skeeters, Max Mahaffey, quickly out to check on Scott. I think he may have landed awkwardly as he was landing on the ground after maybe colliding with Lou Ford, trying to reach across Ford's body to catch that throw from Pounds.
Yeah, even at 40 years old, Lou Ford still pretty quick, and was a collision down at first. Scott up now, and hopefully he'll be okay here. Scott, a catcher by trait, certainly tough out there.
That's a base hit.
And looking at his right wrist, excuse me, his left wrist, his glove hand, or his throwing hand rather.
Yeah, still checking on him, and once again the Skeeters pretty short-handed. They did activate Joe Benson yesterday. He was available in an emergency situation. He's available off the bench again tonight. And it looks like Scott will stay in the game. And that's good news for Gary Gaetti. So now it's Mark Kraus with Ford safe at first base on the infield hit. With 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, Skeeters up 1-0 over the Ducks. Mark Kraus will stand in. He popped up to the third baseman Pounds, who went all the way to the right side of the infield diamond to catch a pop fly. First pitch from Hale is swung on and lifted foul and out of play to the left. Skeeters with a win can even up this 7-game series at 3 wins apiece. They lost the first 3. They've won the last 2. His next pitch hit off the mound, and to his left, Ahrens on the right side of the infield. The shortstop makes the play at first base on Kraus to end the inning. So nice play there by Ahrens, and through 3.5, the Skeeters maintain a 1-0 lead.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with Aiden. He's celebrating his 11th birthday today. Let's cheer him on. Make some noise for him. Awesome. All right, so we're going to sing happy birthday, but I need your help. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aiden. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Back at Constellation Field, the Sugar Land Skeeters have a 1-0 lead over the Long Island Ducks alongside Ira Liebman. I'm Andy Humphrey as Rafael Perez retakes the mound for the Ducks. 56 pitches on the night for Perez through the first 3 innings. He's allowed a run on 4 hits. Face the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Skeeters. It leads off with the DH, Wilfredo Rodriguez, and Hector Oliveira and Albert Cordero to follow. Rodriguez squibbed out to the catcher his first time up in the second. Perez rocks and lefty delivers to Rodriguez. The pitch is bounced foul down the third base line, 0-1. Rodriguez 5 for 11 in this series. Has been a real spark in the last few games for the Skeeters. 2 for 3 last night with a run scored, and the night before 3 for 4 with 2 runs. Takes one out of the zone there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Wilfredo Rodriguez. Perez with the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and poked foul into the screen. So quickly 1 ball and 2 strikes against the DH Wilfredo Rodriguez, who has split time with Albert Cordero behind the plate this year for the Skeeters.
You know, when Wilfredo swung there, something popped off initially. I thought he broke his bat, but he still uses, not too many guys use it. I remember Don Mattingly made it popular, that little thumb ring that kind of cushions the bat against your hands.
1-2 is slammed up the middle into center field, and a base hit for Wilfredo Rodriguez. Continues his hot hitting, that time going right down the middle. And the leadoff man is on for the Skeeters for the first time tonight.
Well, Fred, definitely a low ball hitter. He does it well. Usually goes the opposite way, but took that one right up the middle.
Hector Oliveira now the batter. And Oliveira has been one of the hottest Skeeters hitters the last few. 9 for 20 in the series, now has an 8-game hitting streak after a single earlier in the second. Swings and misses at a high fastball from Perez there.
A quick look around the Atlantic League scoreboard. The Barnstormers beat the Bees 5-3, which is important. I'll get to it after this pitch.
0-1. Low and away to Oliveira, and it's 1-1.
Somerset really beating up Southern Maryland hard, and that one in the bottom of the 8th. Somerset leading the Blue Crabs 8-3. If the Blue Crabs lose that game, they will have just a 1-game lead on the Barnstormers with 4 to go.
Here's the 1-1. Oliveira hits this high in the air to right center. To his left, Cleary, and he will make the grab to his left side for out number 1. Well, the interesting thing about that, Ira, is the Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs have actually played one less game than everyone else. They're actually behind the pace a bit, and so their first half may not end until Monday for both of those teams, and the Skeeters will be playing in Southern Maryland for Southern Maryland's 70th game of the year. For the Skeeters, it'll be the 71st in the start of the second half, but the Blue Crabs will still be playing in their first half.
Oddly, if they have to make up those games, the first half will not be decided until probably July, until those two teams face off against each other again and play that makeup game.
That swung on and missed, and it gets behind Berg, and going up to second base is Rodriguez, and looked like Cordero did not get contact on that swing and miss on that pitch low and inside. So that gets past Berg, and maybe that's the second pass ball for Berg in this game. We'll see how that's ruled.
Might be, and really just maybe another miscommunication between the pitcher and catcher.
Looks like they gave it a wild pitch that time. So both battery members responsible for a ball getting to the backstop in the game so far. The 1-0 is chopped to the left-hand side. Coming in a few steps is Alfonso. He'll throw to first base and get Cordero by a step and a half for the second out, keeping Wilfredo Rodriguez at second, 2 away.
And the only other game besides this one is the Revolution and the Bluefish, who are tied at 2. So the Bluefish need to win that game to keep pace with Somerset to keep their slim hopes alive. They are 3 games out with 4 games to go after tonight.
Here's Derek Miller. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. 2 outs and a man on second base with the Skeeters up 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And Miller hits the first pitch on the ground to third base. Alfonso again will make the throw over to first to end the inning. No runs a hit and a man left for the Skeeters. 4 complete at Constellation Field. A 1-0 lead for Sugar Land. Top of the 5th inning, and the Skeeters with a 1-0 lead. And if they can hang on, maybe they'll be dancing in the street after this
Always
win.
did like that song.
Alex Berg will lead it off for the Long Island Ducks in the top half of the 5th inning. Giovanni Alfonso and Delta Cleary Jr. to follow. Berg 0 for 1. Ground out to third, his first time up in the second. Just 42 pitches on the night for Jake Hale through the first 4. And here's number 43 on the night from the big right-hander to Berg. Swung on and fouled back to the screen by the catcher. Hale, as we mentioned earlier, a very strong season so far. A 3.16 ERA, which is good for 9th among those eligible in the Atlantic League, as the 0-1 comes to the plate, and it's swung on and missed. A nice low changeup there from Jake Hale, and Berg offered to make it no balls and 2 strikes. Hale was expected to be one of the true aces for this team going into this year. Remember last year they lost guys like Sean Gallagher, who were just crucial to their championship run and have been good all season in the starting rotation as he deals one outside to make it 1-2. But Hale has certainly assumed the role as the main ace, and he probably would have an easier time with that if he didn't spend so much time on the disabled list.
Yeah, no question that oblique really put him behind for about 3 weeks. But, you know, if Nick's really started the year great, didn't get a lot of run support. Last 3 starts, he has been terrific. Got a good 1-2 punch from the starters, but still the Skeeters really need to find those 3, 4, and 5 starters. Talbot pitching a little bit better lately, but after that, it's been tough.
2-2 is swung on and missed. A nice change of pace there from Hale as he gets Berg to chase at the off speed, and that is the first strikeout of the game for Jake Hale. Didn't have any in his last start, and he records his first since coming back from the disabled list. Hale also has not allowed a walk in this game so far, kind of like his last start earlier on Friday. Here's Giovanni Alfonso, the third baseman for the Ducks. He takes a pitch low and away for ball 1. Alfonso sitting on a 7-game hitting streak, trying to extend that here against Jake Hale and the Skeeters pitching staff as he lashes one down the right field line, but it slices foul. Just about 5 feet to the right of that foul line there, and that is strike 1 to Alfonso.
Mentioned a few times in this broadcast, this series, that his uncle is former Met and Giant and Dodger Edgardo Alfonso. Well, Edgardo actually played for these Ducks as well in 2007 and 2008.
1-1, foul back to the screen, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, certainly get those relationships going, and that's probably how Giovanni was able to join on with the Ducks.
Yep.
His uncle Edgardo was an NL All-Star with the Mets in 2000.
Yes, he was. One of that Subway Series team.
1-2. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike 3. A beauty from Jake Hale there, and back-to-back strikeouts to start his 5th inning, 2 away.
That's the thing I really like about Hale. He really acts as his own relief pitcher. He's throwing a lot of off-speed stuff in his first 4 innings now, using that fastball and has some in reserve, so he can do that through the middle innings and then maybe close out by just mixing it up a little bit.
1-0 Skeeters in the top of the 5th inning with 2 outs and nobody on base. Here's Delta Cleary Jr., center fielder for the Ducks. Stand in on the left-handed side of the batter's box, and the first pitch is a fastball. Ooh, just missed on the outer edge. 1 ball and no strikes to Cleary. Here's the 1-0. And that is chopped to the right side and off the glove of Scott, and it will roll into right field. Cleary on his horse to second base. Miller will throw to second, and this one is wide of Aaron's. It goes all the way to Pounds, and Cleary will move over to third base. Cleary now being waved home, but now goes back to third, and the throw to third is almost in time, and Cleary almost got back-picked at third base. What a wild play that was, and it ends up with Cleary standing at third with 2 away.
See how they scored it all the way around. That was a brutal hop that really ate up Scott. Lucky it didn't hit him in the face. But that was almost like earlier this year when we saw Jeremy Barfield have that Little League home run.
Yeah, Derek Miller's had one of those as well, and I think at the very least it's an error on Scott as it came off his glove and came into right field. They might give 2 bases on that, and they do.
Yep.
And what moves Cleary to third is a throwing error by Miller in right. So 2 errors on the play, 1 to Scott, 1 to Miller, and Cleary in the end is at third with 2 down. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Anthony Vega.
You don't see it often. Technically, if you bobble a ball and then throw it away at first, you could get 2 errors, but they usually just score at 1. I once heard Tommy John commit 3 errors on 1 play.
First pitch to Vega is popped high in the air and will slice foul into the seats for strike 1. And I think Miller really rushed that play in right field as well. He seemed that if it was any sort of an online throw to Aarons, who was covering at second base, they would have gotten Cleary, as this next pitch is outside to make it 1-1 to Vega. And he seemed to kind of sidearm it and fall to the ground as he was throwing from right field. It just seemed very rushed, and I think Miller probably wants that one back. 1-1. Breaking ball falls in for a called strike 2 on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right fielder, Anthony Vega. So a runner at third base. And it represents the tying run for the Ducks in this top half of the 5th, with the Skeeters up 1-0. Hale winds and deals the 1-2, and a swing and a miss by Vega. He foul-tipped it into the mitt of Cordero. And striking out the side in the 5th inning is Jake Hale. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, and a man left on base. We are through 4.5 at Constellation Field. Skeeters up 1-0 over the Ducks. Fans, you can join the Skeeters on Saturday, July 15th at 6:05. First 2,000 fans will receive a Craig Biggio Hall of Fame bobblehead courtesy of Sanders Morrison Harris. To get your tickets, call 281-240-HITS or go online to sugarlandskeeters.com. 1-0 Skeeters. Bottom of the 5th inning we go at Constellation Field. Josh Prince will lead it off for Sugarland against the lefty starter on the mound, Rafael Perez. First pitch on the way from Perez is on the lower third of the zone for a called strike. 0-1 to Prince. 3,498 fans here at Constellation Field, and I now turn to my math guru, Ira Liebman. How close are we now to 2 million fans?
Should get it tomorrow. 3,045 fans on a thirsty Thursday, and the Skeeters go over 2 million.
This next pitch is fouled back for strike 2 to Prince. We haven't had a thirsty Thursday in a while here at Constellation Field. I think it's been
It has been
at
a
least
while. Yeah, June
till
no,
May.
actually, wow, yeah, that's right.
May was the last
19th.
one.
We had 3 in a row in May, but you know, Skeeters have been on the road a little bit more here in June.
0-2 is hit on a line into left field. That'll fall for a base hit, so Prince is now 2 for 3 on the night with a couple of singles. He's also scored a run, stole a base, and seems to be really seeing the baseball well, drawing walks, hitting balls right on the screws, and he is a leadoff base runner in the 5th.
He has reached base now 6 times in his last 7 at-bats.
Here's Kevin Ahrens. He's 1 for 2. Had a single back in the 1st, and now is a 6-game hitting streak. First pitch on the way from Perez is low and inside to Ahrens for ball 1. Yeah, this is what I said earlier about Prince. He kind of leads off of first base a little nonchalantly, maybe puts his hands on his hips a little bit, but then right as the pitch is about to come to the plate, he starts to, you know, tighten up a bit and start to make motions to first. He faked it there as Ahrens fouls this pitch to the right-hand side out of play, 1-1.
And the thing about Prince, too, which is odd for a guy with his speed, he does a lot of delayed steals. I mean, he's one of those guys that will take advantage if he sees a catcher throwing the ball slowly back to the pitcher. He'd take off in a minute.
They can certainly help against a left-handed pitcher as well. Long pause from Perez, the 1-1 on the way. Outside, a bit high as well. Coming up out of the crouch was Berg. 2-1 now to the shortstop Ahrens. 1-0 Skeeters, bottom of the 5th inning at Constellation Field. Well, no matter what happens here, the Skeeters are going to be leading after 5 innings, and they are 23-4 when they do so this year. Two-one. It's hit on the ground to the left side, foul. Bouncing just to the left side of third, and it's strike 2 to Ahrens.
This is a good inning to try to get to Perez. Right now he has 73 pitches, 48 for strikes, and talked about his last start right around 80 and change, so this might be the inning to get to him.
Anthony Jansanti on deck. And the 6th inning was when they got to Perez in his last start on Friday. He lasted 5 2/3. 3 hits and 1 run allowed for Perez. 2-2 on the way. Up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Nobody out. Run on a 3-2.
Why not?
Some people are fans of it, some aren't. Prince usually makes it when he goes, and Ahrens makes pretty good contact, so even if he should strike out, not necessarily a strike him out, throw him out.
See how big of a lead Prince starts out with. Out a 2.5 step lead to start. Hands on knees. And they'll move to first now as he steps back into the bag. So Perez obviously mindful of the fact that Prince might be going on this 3-2. Runner on first and nobody out. Skeeters up 1-0, out hitting the Ducks 6-3. Long pause from Perez. Lifts the leg and fires. Up high, ball 4. So runners at first and second now for the Skeeters as they start to brew something up in the 5th.
And perhaps this is the big inning tonight in the 5th.
It's been the second each of the last 2 nights for the Skeeters, scoring 6 runs in the second in back-to-back games. And Rafael Perez will get a visit from his pitching coach, Billy Horn, for the Long Island Ducks. There is nobody throwing in the Long Island pen. Let's go to the studio, and I believe Tim Costello has an update for us. Tim. Thanks, Tim. First pitch to Jan Santee is hit to short, goes to second for one, on to first, and that is a 6-4-3 double play to give 2 outs to Rafael Perez in the 5th. Going to third is Prince, and quickly there are 2 outs for Perez as he tries to get out of this jam.
Well, maybe pitching coach Billy Horn noticed something there.
Here comes Travis Scott. Already has an RBI single in the game. He drove in Prince for the only run so far in this contest in the 3rd.
Mentioned hitting .320 in his last at-bat with runners in scoring position, 2 outs, so already an RBI single here. Perhaps he will do it again. He's already raised that average.
Lefty on lefty as Perez kicks and fires home. Low and away on the first pitch, 1-0.
When the Skeeters went through that 6-game losing streak, it was situations like this where they left a lot of runners on, couldn't quite get that big inning going, and we'll see if they take advantage again here.
Prince leading off at third with 2 away. Here's the 1-0 to Scott. Inside to make it 2 balls and no strikes. 1-0 Skeeters in this bottom half of the 5th inning.
Perez at 78 pitches now.
Closing in on the pitch count that he had in his first start against the Skeeters in this series. That was 82 on Friday night. Scott hits this next pitch high in the air, shallow right field. In a few steps is Vega, still coming in, and he makes the grab to end the inning. Skeeters get runners at first and second base with nobody out, but they can't bring any runs home. No runs on 1 hit and 1 man left. We are through 5, and the Skeeters have a 1-0 lead.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with Caden. He's ready to take on the Whataburger Fry Shuffle. Caden, we're going to show you 3 boxes. One of them's going to have fries in it. They're going to scramble up, and you got to pick the winner. You ready? Let's put it up there. Starting in number 1, watch the box. All right, which one did it end in? If you know the answer, yell it out, help them out. Do you know?
2.
Is it a number 2? It is. Great job. Congratulations for that. You're going to win this Whataburger prize pack, but that's not all. Your row in section 21 is going to be the winner of a Whataburger coupon as well. Back up to you, Shane.
Fans, you can get yourself some Swatson memorabilia on Sunday, July 16th at 6:05. The first 2,000 fans receive a free Swatson Bobble Belly doll. Get your tickets, call 281-240-HITS, or go online to sugarlandskeeters.com. So the night after you get your Craig Biggio Hall of Fame bobblehead, you get another Bobble doll. This one's a Bobble Belly, a little bit different.
Are you a Bobble Belly fan or a Bobblehead if you have to make the choice? If you can only come to one of the 2 Skeeter games, which one do you come to?
I am always for the uniqueness of the Bobble Belly, but you know I have a soft spot for Craig Biggio as well.
I didn't notice that.
Skeeters with a 1-0 lead in the top of the 6th. Dan Lyons at the top of the order for the Long Island Ducks will lead it off in the 6th inning against Jake Hale, and Jake delivers a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1 to Lyons. No runs on 3 hits for the Long Island Ducks. They have not committed an error tonight. Skeeters have scored 1 run on 6 hits and committed 2 errors. Lyons hits this next pitch to Aarons on a couple of hops, and Aarons at shortstop will make the throw to first, and a quick first out for Hale in the 6th.
It's amazing how few pitches Hale is using here. That was just pitch number 59, so he is about to throw pitch number 60 here in the 6th. Hale threw a season high 128 back on May 16th against the Somerset Patriots, and usually around 100. He's been over 100 just 2 times this season.
El Morea is the next batter for the Ducks. First pitch is lined into right field, and it falls in for a base hit in front of Miller, the right fielder. And Reyes is 2 for 3 on the night with his second single.
That wasn't the example of a little duck snort base hit. I don't know what was.
That's a Texas leaguer.
Texas Leaguer is the high chopper, isn't it, over the infield?
I thought it was just a high pop, was the Texas leaguer. The high bloop, the towering bloop hit. I may be wrong.
That could be right.
Angelo Sanko, the batter, as Ira goes to confirm. Sanko is 0 for 2, grounded into a double play and flied out to left in this ball game here tonight. He is 0 for his last 15 at-bats and 2 for 19 in this series, trying to turn things around. First pitch is swung on and missed. Looked like a slider that tied up Sanko on the inside part of the plate. It's strike 1.
They say it's a hit that lands in the outfield between the infielder heading out and the outfielder heading in.
So I was right.
I guess it's kind
Just
of one
a
of those
towering bloop hit, like a pop-up that is unable to be caught up to.
almost a no man's land kind of.
0-1 is hit high in the air and foul ground on the left side. Pounds chases, and he will get there standing on the dirt in front of the Long Island bench. Makes the catch in foul territory for the second out.
The Baltimore chop comes from the very hard infield that the Orioles had back in the old days, where it's almost like hitting off artificial turf.
So 2 outs and a man on first base for Lou Ford. Skeeters up 1-0 in this top of the 6th. Ford is 1 for 2, single back in the 4th. Ford's driven in 5 runs in his last 4 games, despite not really getting the base hits that we're used to seeing from him. Hale with first pitch, and it is lifted foul and out of play to the right. And Ford is one of the very few professional players in any level of baseball that can say that they were drafted in the 20th century, because he was drafted out of Dallas Baptist in 1999.
That's right.
Not very many players can say that nowadays. He chops one slowly to left side. It will go foul past third.
Yes, any ball that Ford hits is literally a Texas leaguer. He is from Beaumont, and he's hitting here in Texas.
Yeah. Played 6 Major League seasons for the Twins, mostly for the Twins. He did play 1 season for Baltimore, kind of recently in 2012. Played for Minnesota between 2003 and 2007. 268 career hitter in the big leagues with 35 big league home runs. 0-2 is hit slowly back to the pitcher Hale, but it's foul as it came off the leg of Ford, indicating by the home plate umpire Mike Durantis.
Ford just dusted himself off. I thought that one hit him square off the foot. Doesn't even seem to be kind of shaking it around. And Ford, even at 40, he still has that quick bat. I still think he wouldn't be overmatched in the big leagues.
Player coach for this Long Island Ducks team, and it's quite a value at this level of the game with guys trying to get back into the big leagues, having a guy who's a player coach who has been there before, trying to impart some wisdom on some of the younger guys. 0-2 outside on the fastball there from Hale. That was pitch number 65 on the night for Hale. Been a very efficient worker so far in this game. Man on first and 2 away in the top of the 6th. Skeeters up 1-0. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, misses away. So he tried to change up speeds there, but not offering it. That was Ford, and it's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Ford can extend the inning, Mark Krause awaits on deck for the Ducks.
Ford played a little winter ball this year in 2 different countries, the Dominican Winter League and the Mexican Winter League.
2-2. Again, the slider misses away, trying to get Ford to chase at it, but he does not, and it fills up the count at 3-2. So going with the pitch here will be Reyes. Hale from the set. Delivers home on the payoff. Swung on and chopped foul off the mid of Cordero, and he knows that he could have hung on for that and they'd be out of the inning, but instead, Ford stays alive at 3-2.
I wonder, this would be a great trivia question. Who has the record for playing on the professional baseball on the most continents? I was playing Japan and Mexico, and maybe not continents, countries, I think we would stick to.
Countries, yeah. Certainly some guys in this league could be on that list as Hale moves to first. Diving back safely is Reyes. I'm trying to remember how many leagues did the Lastings Millage play in. I know he was in Japan for quite a while. But I may be mistaken. Maybe Japan is the only other place other than the United States that Millage has played in. Millage, outfielder for the Barnstormers, as the 3-2 is lined straight to Pounds, who is playing near that third base line and positioned perfectly to catch that line drive from Ford to end the inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning with the score still 1-0 Skeeters. Brian Pounds will lead off this bottom of the 6th inning for the Skeeters with a 1-0 lead in Game 6 of this 7-game series. Back on the mound is Rafael Perez for the Long Island Ducks on 78 pitches on the night. Here's number 79. Pounds hits it high in the air, deep into right field, going back. Vega near the track makes the catch just on the edge of that grass. 1 pitch, 1 out for Perez in this 6th.
Very hard for a right-handed hitter to hit it opposite field here at Constellation Field with that wind blowing in. It's hard enough for a lefty to pull one.
So Pounds are tired. He's 0 for 3 on the night.
Wind has shifted a little bit, now blowing out a little bit towards right center.
Well, Fredo Rodriguez will now stand in. The designated hitter tonight. He has grounded out to the catcher and singled in this game. 6 for 12 in the series is Wilfredo Rodriguez, an even .500 average. As he takes a pitch high from Perez for ball 1. No action in the...
I was just thinking the same thing. That was right down the middle, and Rodriguez stood there with a poker face, and Perez just held up both palms up like, where was that pitch? I threw it straight down the middle.
That was puzzling. Throws this one right down the middle, a breaking ball. This one's low enough to find the zone. And it's 1-1. So Perez still out there, past 80 pitches now as he winds and deals the 1-1. Breaking ball is hit off the hands and to right field, and diving to try and make the play is Vega. Can't do it as it rolls down right field a bit, and safe at second base is Wilfredo Rodriguez with a double.
Rodriguez just so hot right now. Anything he hits, that one just blooped away from Vega. Just kept going further and further. Winds up getting himself a double, so I think anything he does is wrong right now.
His second double in 3 games. And he is in scoring position for a very hot Skeeters hitter in Hector Oliveira. I think very soon you'll start seeing somebody get up in this Long Island bullpen. I think if in this inning, if Perez had let anybody reach and get into scoring position, they might try and get somebody up as Oliveira lines one over the head of the third baseman down the left field line for a base hit. Rounding third is Wilfredo. He will score easily. Getting in safely to second base is Hector Oliveira. He drives in the second Skeeters run of the night with a double.
Great piece of hitting there by Oliveira. Just put it over the head, just out of the reach of Alfonso. And Skeeters now have themselves a pair of runs and a 2-run lead.
So Oliveira keeps the line moving for the Skeeters. And looks like there will now be somebody getting loose in that pen. Looks like I see a catcher getting over to the other side and somebody getting the arm loose on the mound.
Oliveira his 4th double of the season.
Albert Cordero now the batter. Switch hitter batting righty against the lefty Rafael Perez. Cordero 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball out to third. Off the hands and bounce to the first baseman Sanko, who go to third, not handled by Alfonso, and safe at third is Oliveira. So a decision there by Sanko to try and get the lead runner on a non-force play, and it comes back to bite him.
Well, that was a bad move from the beginning for Sanko. Even a perfect throw may not even get him, and here comes Kevin Baez.
I don't know if that right-hander out in the pen has gotten enough time to warm up.
No,
Baez has
has
not made the signal just yet.
This is just going to be a visit to the mound here. The right-hander just started throwing out there for the Ducks.
So Cordero reaches on the fielder's choice. And I don't believe there should be an error on the play, but maybe it's a throwing error. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it would have gotten him either way.
Well, they're not scoring it an error.
I don't think they put a ruling up just yet. Now they
Just
do.
did, yeah.
So Cordero does reach on the fielder's choice. Not sure if there's an error on the board just yet. Meanwhile, here's Derek Miller with runners at the corners and 1 out. First pitch is a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Miller 0 for 2, fly out to left and a ground out to third. They do give an error to Sanko on the throw from first base, which allows Oliveira to get to third. That is the first error of the game for the Ducks. Second error on the season for Sanko. Perez brings it to the belt. The 0-1 on the way. Miller looks at it in the dirt, blocked by Berg behind the plate, and it's 1-1. .85 pitches for Rafael Perez. He now sets again for the 1-1. This one is blooped over the head of the second baseman. This will drop for a base hit. Easily scoring is Oliveira, and Miller keeps the line moving. An RBI single for Derek, and it's 3-0 Skeeters.
Well, perhaps this is the big inning we've been waiting for. By the way, that was our Texas Farm Bureau insurance run. Texas Farm Bureau members get free tickets to Skeeter games on Sundays. Just show proof of your current membership at the Skeeters ticket office, and you can get 2 free tickets to any Sunday home game. Visit your local agent to become a member today, and looks like that's going to be it here.
Yep, second visit in the inning from Kevin Baez, the manager. So we will step aside and send it back to the studio with our own Tim Costello for an update. Tim.
Thanks, Tim. It will be Rob Rogers. We've seen him in this series before. Rogers 1-0 at 2.73 ERA. This will be his 24th appearance. 29 2/3. He has allowed 20 hits. He has walked 13 while striking out 12. So certainly not the strike to ball or strikeout to walk ratio you want. But Rogers, 6 foot 205, a Long Island native from Islip, New York. Been as high as AA last year. Rancho Cucamonga, the Advanced A affiliate of the Dodgers in the Cal League.
Rogers has pitched a couple times in this series as well. The last time he faced the Skeeters was in the game on Sunday. Pitched the 9th inning and ended up getting the save, throwing a scoreless 9th inning, giving up 1 hit, no walks, no strikeouts. He also pitched in the series opener, throwing 2 1/3 innings. Also scoreless work there in the first game of the series, only allowing 1 hit. So he comes on for the 3rd time against the Skeeters this year. He comes in a big situation as well. He's trying to put out the fire for the Ducks. There's 1 out, and runners at first and second base for the Skeeters already have 2 runs in this 6th inning. And the top of the order now to the plate with Josh Prince, the batter.
Rogers is 26 years old, went to Keystone College in Pennsylvania and upstate New York to Binghamton.
First pitch from Rogers to Prince is a called strike on the upper third of the zone, 0-1. Prince is 2 for 3, singled twice, stolen a base, and scored a run in tonight's ball game.
Rogers, a lot of levels last year, 4-0, rookie ball, Advanced A, AA, and AAA.
Real journeyman in 2016 as Prince hooks this one foul down the left field line, and that'll be strike 2. Cordero at second, Miller at first, with 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. Skeeters trying to even up this 7-game series at 3 games apiece. It's obviously unusual to see that at any level of baseball, a 7-game series in the regular season, but in the Atlantic League here with Sugar Land being so far away from some of the other teams, it's very customary actually. Rogers sets and deals the 0-2. Fastball in the dirt, and a nice pick by Berg on a 89-mile-an-hour heater out of the hand of Rogers.
Mentioned Rogers, Binghamton, and Keystone College. Last 2 years at Keystone, he was a combined 17-3 and had an ERA under 2 both years. 134 his senior year, 182 his junior year, and overall in his college career, 24-7 with a 2.34 ERA.
Man, playing out in Keystone College out in Pennsylvania. 1-2. Check swing, and it's low and away. Once again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Righty on righty as Prince digs back in. Rogers gets the sign and sets at the belt, the 2-2. Check swing again. This one's low. So Prince fell behind 0-2, fights it back to a full count. We'll see if the runners move on this 3-2 pitch with one out.
I was thinking the same thing. If Cordero wasn't at second, I'd think about it, but I don't know if I'd do it here. Miller, the faster runner at first, behind him.
Here's the payoff pitch. The runners do not go, and it's swung on and missed by Prince, and he will sit down on strikes. So Rogers comes in and gets a big punch out for out number 2. So here is Kevin Ahrens. 1 for 2 with a single, a ground out to third, and a walk on the night. Another right-handed batter against the righty on the mound, Rogers. As the Skeeters try to add to their 3-0 lead here in the 6th. Ahrens takes a called strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Ahrens with 33 runs driven in between his time here in Sugar Land and in Lancaster, where he started the year. 0-1, taken low by Ahrens. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sky is completely darkened over our heads at Constellation Field. Lights taking full effect now. 1-1. Line foul into the screen by Ahrens. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The Skeeters have gotten into the Ducks' head a little bit. I mean, they have been scoreless now for 14 innings.
One, two. Slowly tapped in front of home, but it's foul. It came, I believe, off of home plate. That's what Mike Durantis is signaling.
Should we go back 3 games, they have not scored a run in their last 16 innings.
That's quite the drought. The Skeeters had a similar drought like that a little earlier in the year when they were shut out in back-to-back games on the road.
It was that day-night doubleheader at Somerset. Hale actually pitched that game and took a loss, complete game loss. They lost 2-0.
Of course, the Skeeters benefiting from the complete game shutout from Michael Nix last night. 1-2 is hit on the ground to the left side, off the glove of the third baseman Alfonso, and everybody's safe. It didn't trickle that far away from Alfonso, but he wasn't going to be able to get back to the baseball after it came off his glove. And that should be another error, the second of the inning for the Long Island Ducks.
That will be an E5. Skeeters could break it open here with the base hit. 8th man to hit here is going to be Anthony Jansanti as well.
So that error also means the rest of the runs scored in this inning, if the Skeeters do get some, are going to be unearned.
Jansanti just 4 at-bats with the bases loaded this year, 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs.
So Jansanti stands in. The first pitch is low. Jansanti is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Last time up, he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, swinging at the first pitch from Perez. Cordero at third, Miller at second, Ahrens at first. Jansanti takes the 1-0 low to make it 2 balls and no strikes. So the Skeeters have kept their offense rolling the last few games, and the Ducks have had the exact opposite. Michael Nix with the complete game shutout last night. First time that he has had a 9-inning complete game shutout in his career. 2-0 is hit hard into left field, and going over Kraus, he makes the catch on the run to end the inning. So hard hit ball by Jansanti, but Kraus catches up to it, and the Skeeters leave them loaded in the 6th. But they do get 2 runs home thanks to 3 base hits and a couple of errors by the Ducks in that sixth. They now lead 3-0 going to the seventh at Constellation Field.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, tonight I have Tyler and Luke versus Matt and Nick. All right, boys, when I say so, the first contestant is going to spin around the bat 5 times, get nice and dizzy, grab your letter, run to the board. The goal is tic-tac-toe. You ready? Set, spin. Nice and fast. Get dizzy. All right, looks like O is going to be the first one to the board. Center placement, nice. All right, who's going to get there next? What team's going to win? It's going to be a close race. Uh-oh, who's going to win? Everybody has a chance. And it's going to be Team O with the win. Congratulations, you are the winner of Dizzy Bat Tic-Tac-Toe, brought to you by the Kolache Factory. Back up to you, Shane.
No more Jake Hale as we enter the top of the seventh. He will come out after 6 scoreless innings of work, only 4 hits allowed, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and just his second game back from the disabled list. And the man to replace him will be Andrew Johnston for the Skeeters. Johnston comes in this season for the 26th time. He has pitched 25 1/3 innings, an 0-1 record, a 4.97 ERA. And to take you through the rest of the way, here's Ira Liebman. Ira.
Thanks, Andy. Skeeters are up 3-0 here against AJ. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Mark Kraus, Alex Berg, and Giovanni Alfonso. First pitch here by the Skeeters right-hander is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Going back 3 nights ago to Talbot, who allowed 3 runs in the first and then 4 scoreless. The Skeeters starters 19 consecutive scoreless innings. This one is a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. AJ, 3 good pitches, a fastball, slider, and that great out pitch, his splitter. Was the pitcher of the year last year for Sugar Land. Also an all-star. Hey now, he's an all-star. This one is fouled off to the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
It's about the only thing that Smash Mouth will ever be known for.
That's all they got.
That is all they got.
Last year, AJ 5-2, an impressive 178 ERA. Had 61 appearances, 47 Ks, just 6 walks, and 60 2/3 innings. 2 balls and 2 strikes now here on Kraus. Quite a drought for these Duckies as well. 6 scoreless so far here tonight. Of course, the 9 innings, the complete game shutout by Knicks last night. This one outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count here on Mark Kraus. The lefty stands fairly far away from the plate. They're going to set up inside to kind of counter that. Payoff pitch on the outside corner, strike 3. Great fastball there by AJ. That's the danger of standing that far away from the plate as AJ painted the outside corner. There's 1 down.
He almost got that outside corner on the previous pitch. I thought he had caught that outside edge there with the breaking ball, but instead he gets him on that one.
So 1 out, none out for Alex Berg. Mr. Berg has grounded out and struck out. He's 0 for 2. Skeeters leading 3-0. 3 runs, 9 hits, and a pair of errors for the Skeeters. No runs, 4 hits, and 1 E for the Duckies. First pitch here, a high fastball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. By the way, the Barnstormers beat the Bees, and the Blue Crabs lost to the Patriots. So now it is just a one-game lead for the Blue Crabs. It looked like they were about to take that first half title. This one driven into left center field. Long run by center fielder Anthony Jansanti. Anthony catches up with that, 2 down. So 2 outs, none on for Giovanni Alfonso. Alfonso was hit by a pitch and struck out, and if AJ can get Alfonso, that would be a bigger drought here for the Ducks. Extended to, let's see, 17 innings, is that correct? 9 and 6, 15, yeah, 15, 16 innings.
16 innings, and going back to the game prior, it would be 18.
The 0-1 here by AJ. This one swung a nubbed foul to the right of home, 0-2. AJ 1 strike away from a 1-2-3-7. Skeeters up 3-0 here. AJ from the stretch with nobody on. The 0-2. Swung and fouled up to the right side. That'll make the seats deep down the right side near the bounce house area. We'll do the 0-2 again. Skeeters after tomorrow's game will head on a 10-game road trip starting in York and then play the Blue Crabs and then Somerset. The 0-2. Swung and a missed strike 3. Gets away from Cordero. He will throw it down to first to complete it, and that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. 7th inning stretch time. Get your peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I do care if you never come back. Skeeters up 3-0.
Thanks, Shane. All right, Skeeters fans, you ready for the 7th inning stretch? Harder. Are you guys ready? There we go. There the Skeeter fans I know. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so just root for the Skeeters. If they don't win, it's a shame. Sing it with me, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's go, Skeeters!
Long Island Ducks will dip back into their bullpen. The third pitcher of the night, and it's the lefty John Lannon coming on for the Long Island Ducks. Lannon, in limited time with Long Island, has a 1-0 record and a 3.86 ERA. Just his 4th game with the club. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. As he comes in for Rob Rogers, who put out the fire in the 6th inning. Pitching 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout for Rogers' night.
Oh, Pirall stretched out. Tim Costello, Mr. Limber himself, stretching out in the Skeeters studio. Oh, Travis Scott, Brian Pounds, and Wilfredo Rodriguez, 3 pretty hot hitters right now, will try to add to this 3-0 lead. Skeeters 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. The Ducks no runs, 4 hits, and 1 E. Well, Scott, 247 home runs, now 36 RBIs with his RBI single in his second at bat. He's 1 for 3. The lefty-lefty matchup here. First pitch here, a big swing and a miss as the fastball gets blown past Scott. No balls and 1 strike to count. Lannon gets the sign from Berg. They're going to set up low and away in the 0-1, and Scott squares the bunt here on 0-1. Pulled back for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Surprised to see him bunting there?
Yeah, a little bit. He's been swinging pretty well, has an RBI single in this one.
A 1 ball and 1 strike to count here. This one swung and missed. What a slider. That thing broke from the shoulder of Scott to low and away.
Yeah, just swept right across that home plate, and that is so tough for left-handed hitters to try and get the end of the bat off of that.
Landed another one of these Long Island natives from Long Beach out on Long Island. This one way inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Went to Siena College, upstate New York. Went to high school also on Long Island in Mineola. Former 11th round pick of the Nationals in 2005. He got to play upstate New York, AAA Syracuse, the Nationals AAA affiliate. This one swung and foul back. He's got a decent amount of big league time. Spent time with the Nationals from 2007 through 2012. Spent some time with the Phillies in 2013. His hometown Mets in 2014 had a big thrill. And then in AAA the last 2 years at Albuquerque with the Rockies in 2015, and last year with Omaha, an affiliate of the Royals, or has been affiliate of the Royals for a while. This one is swung foul back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Landon was a really big part of that Nationals rotation for quite a few years through 07 and 2012, kind of the years before Max Scherzer came to town.
He is a 46 and 58 career pitcher lifetime, 4.18 ERA in the big leagues. So it's swung and a miss, strike 3. That slider is devastating, and that is out number 1.
Yeah, second time that he broke it out against Scott, and it was very effective. And it also changed planes as well. One was kind of higher, and then that time Scott had to try and chase it low.
Must have had to change planes in Omaha for that connection.
Yeah, that's true too.
Minor league career numbers 47 and 56, a 4.62 ERA. Which also means he's closing in on 100 wins. This one a strike. Pounds lifted up the hands, but caught the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Skeeters with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. This one a big swing and a miss by Pounds. No balls and 2 strikes to count. His next win will be career win number 100. That includes the minors, the majors, and some foreign baseball. Winter leagues and whatnots. If he wins, he'd be 100 and 119 lifetime. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The 0-2. This one way inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Pounds. See a little more patience by Pounds over this homestand.
Definitely trying to find the right pitch to drive, and he has hit him pretty well, but they have been right at some defenders.
There's a bullet. This one off the mound and into center field for a base hit.
Well, he had to fight to see that one. He had to foul off a few pitches. and knew exactly what to do with it. That's the second time tonight, actually, that he's hit a ball straight up the middle. Last time it was gloved by the left-handed pitcher Perez. This time he is able to slide it past Landon into center.
Well, maybe finally getting his groove back slowly. 1 on and 1 out for the hottest member of the Skeeters right now, Wilfredo Rodriguez. Rodriguez has grounded out, singled, doubled, and scored a run. First pitch here to Rodriguez. This one is low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Tomorrow in the finale, it'll be Skeeters right-hander Bobby Blevins versus Ducks ace John Brownell. Brownell always difficult. 5-1, beat the Skeeters in game 1. The 1-0. Swung and fouled back into our right. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Skeeters leading 3-0 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Well, you mentioned Brownell and how he was able to find a lot of success against this lineup 5 days ago, but this lineup seems to be behaving a lot differently than it did 5 days ago, as they now have double-digit hits for the 3rd consecutive game.
This one swung and hit off of first, foul. That one will make the seats, and it'll be a good test tomorrow for the Skeeters. Brownell does not throw very hard, but man, can he keep you off balance all night. This guy regularly, last few years, would throw 120 pitches, and we'll see if the Skeeters can test Brownell. He's always a difficult pitcher around the league, not just against the Skeeters. 1-2 here on Rodriguez. 1 out, 1 on. Getting the Skeeters up 3-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. This one in the dirt. Good scoop there by Berg. That'll leave in the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I mean, even if you didn't know anything against or about John Lannon, you can see, you'd say, there's something special about that guy. And somebody say, oh, he was a former big leaguer. Should have known. Some nasty off-speed stuff, especially that slider. This one a bullet through the left side. 3rd hit of the night for Rodriguez.
Well, now I think they're starting to sit on that breaking pitch as Wilfredo slams that to the left-hand side. Brian Pounds got a nice one a couple batters ago. Scott was kind of fooled, but I think these right-handed hitters are seeing that one a lot better out of John Lannon's hand.
You bring up a good point because the slider will come into the righties. It goes away from a lefty. Well, Hector Olivero has 2 hits of his own tonight. Also now an 8-game hitting streak. He has singled, doubled, driven in a run, and scored a run. Sandwiched between those 2 hits, a fly out to center. This one hit deep down the right side. That one way foul. And Vega gives it a chase, but quickly runs out of room. No balls and 1 strike to count on Hector. Lannon 18 pitches, 13 of them for strikes. This one is low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Skeeters up 3-0. Skeeters trying to even up this series, have 3 games apiece. Been an exciting game 7. Like the playoffs, World Series.
There's a Red Sox-Yankees joke that I can make, but I won't make it.
Don't do that. I have to bring Tim back.
I just hit a soft spot into Ira Liebman right there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to pull a few dandies out myself. The 2-1. This one is low and away. 3 balls and a strike. Always like the dodgeball. Who's the announcer? Cotton McKnight.
Cotton McKnight, yeah.
Oversells the dodgeball game a little bit. He said, it's like the World Series, World War II combined. Overshot it just a little. 3-1. Swan and foul back. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I think the World Cup was in there too. In that
the World Cup, the World Series,
and World War II. That's why that's why it was on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho, yeah. If it's almost a sport, we have it.
Yep.
That was his next line. This one is a slow roller left side. Lions will go to second for one. That's all they'll get. And they say he dropped it as he took the ball out of his mitt. So it'll be first and third here. Fielder's choice goes down 6-4. Pounds goes to third. You can erase Rodriguez. Now they're on at first. Runners on the corners, 2 down for Albert Cordero, the switch hitter 0 for 3. He has struck out, grounded out, and hit into a fielder's choice. Switch hitter will bat here from the right side against the southpaw and former big leaguer John Lannon.
I have a feeling this might be Lannon's last batter no matter what. If Cordero can extend the inning, there's 4 more right-handed batters to come up, and these righties have really hit the ball well against Lannon so far in this inning.
This one is a fastball that misses outside.
That was pitch number 24 of the inning for Lannon. He's really had to work as well.
Skeeters getting southpaw of their own up. That's Scott Main, also a former big leaguer like Lannon. Swung and fouled back and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Three runs now on 11 hits for the Skeeters. No runs on 4 hits for the Ducks. And taking a lot more time between pitches now. And he's ready. They'll set up inside the 1-1. This one just misses inside. Good eye by Cordero. 2 balls and a strike.
You know, this run total could be so much higher for the Skeeters as well. They've left 9 men on base, including at least 1 runner left on base in every inning so far.
They did a lot of that during their 6-game losing streak, but converting a lot more over the last 3 nights. Swan swung and chop foul off of third. Nice barehanded grab by Skeeters manager Gary Gaetti. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Skeeters up 3-0 here in the bottom half of the 7th. Lannon kind of cranks his arm like Skeeters Evan Reed does. The 2-2. Swan and missed strike 3. Cordero way out in front of the off-speed pitch, and that will do it. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Lannon. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We are through 7 innings of play. It is still the Skeeters shutting out the Ducks 3-0.
Shane, I'm really hoping we have a winner tonight because I have $550 in my hand for a lucky season ticket holder out there. So get on your feet, get excited. Let's see where I'm going. All right, let's see. All right. Which way do I want to go? That way? I'm going to go this way. What about section number 8? Make some noise. Do you want to follow? We're going this way. All right, not section number 8. I'm actually gonna head this way. What about section number 10? I like it. That's where I'm headed. I'm heading to section 10, row H, seat 7. Do you have this seat?
That's me. Excuse me. You're in my seat.
Oh, I'm getting pushed out of this seat. I'm going to check and see if she has the ticket, but if not, we might not have a winner. I'm going to send it back up to you, Shane.
Thank you, Tim. So here's Scott Main to come on for the Skeeters in this top half of the 8th inning, leading 3-0. Main will make his 11th appearance in a Skeeters uniform this year. An 0-1 record, a 4.15 ERA, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. League batting .219 against Scott Main, who comes on as the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Skeeters, in relief of the first reliever Andrew Johnston, who pitched a scoreless 7th with a couple of strikeouts.
Well, Maine will face 8-9-1 here. Delta Cleary Jr., Anthony Vega, and then back to the top of the order with Dan Lyons. Delta Cleary Jr. 0 for 2. He is hit into a fielder's choice and reached on error by first baseman Travis Scott. First pitch by Maine is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Switch hitting Cleary Jr. batting here from the right side now against the Skeeters southpaw Scott Maine. Cleary Jr. 211, a home run, and 16 RBIs coming in. This one popped up. Shallow right field. Coming in is Derek Miller, and the Skeeters right fielder will haul it in for out number 1. There's now 6 straight retired by 3 Skeeters pitcher between Hale, Andrew Johnston, and now Maine. A 1 out, none out for Anthony Vega. Vega is 0 for 2. He has flied out to right and struck out. Looks like we have Fela Lentini coming in here. Knew we were going to see him sooner or later. And acting as a leadoff hitter here with 1 out and none on. A speedy Lentini will come in here. Lentini was 0 for 4 last night. They had a hit the night before. 3 hits the night before that. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Lentini could go on a hot streak. Only 218 right now. A home run, 11 RBIs, but second in the league in stolen bases with 27 on just 50 hits. And this is a guy who doesn't walk a ton. He has only walked 5 times this season and has been hit by 4 pitches. On base percentage just 247. This one is low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. You're up 3-0, 1 out and none on. You don't want Lentini to get on and have to deal with him and his speed. I say you throw it around the plate and make him hit it. All set up on the outside corner. The 2-1. Swung and fouled off right side. Attaboy, Maine. Scott coming right after Lentini. Lentini will turn 40 on August 12th, as his teammate Lou Ford will also have a birthday that same day. He'll turn 41.
What are the odds of that happening?
Not a lot.
Born a year apart, exactly a year apart, ending up on the same team 40 years later.
A 2-2. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. And Lentini will be tagged out by Cordero, and there's 2 down. So 2 outs, none on. We go back to the top of the order with Dan Lyons. I'd love to get Lyons here, then have Lou Ford coming up 3rd next inning. Lyons is 1 for 3. He singled to start the game. Who knew that would only be 3 other hits after? Lyons with a hit, Ford with a hit, Reyes with 2 hits. That's it. 2 hits last night, 4 tonight. 6 hits over the last 15 2/3. Not going to get it done. First pitch misses low. 1 ball, no strikes here to Lyons, who came in at 243 with a home run and 10 RBIs. The Skeeters southpaw Scott Maine deals, and this one hits the 3rd right at Pounds. It should be a 1-2-3 inning. The toss across in time. Another great job by a Skeeters reliever. And that'll do it. 8 straight retired by 3 Skeeters pitchers. And in the middle of the 8th, it is still the Skeeters shutting out the Ducks 3-0.
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with Alex and Dylan, and they're ready to take on the Air Team Heating and Cooling Frozen T-shirt contest. All right, boys, you can do anything you can think of to get it open. You got to get it all the way open, up over your head to win. Ready? Set. Go. All right, hats coming off. Ooh. Open the shirts, guys. You got it. They're pretty frozen tonight. Cheer them on, guys. Gotta get it all the way on. Keep going. You got it. Oh, it looks like it's getting close. You try to get your arms through it. Yes, that shirt is wet. That's why they're frozen. You got it. So close. Keep going.
Fourth pitcher of the night for the Long Island Ducks as we enter the bottom of the 8th inning. A 3-0 lead for your Sugarland Skeeters. And the man on the mound now is David Ardsma. And if that name sounds familiar to any of you Rice Owls out there, he is the same David Ardsma that pitched for Rice and won the College World Series with Rice in 2003. That was also the year that he was drafted in the first round by the Giants, 22nd overall pick. Ardsma this season with the Long Island Ducks, he has 12 appearances so far, a 1.50 ERA, and a 1-0 record, 5 saves, coming off the inactive list just recently. 12 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 18 strikeouts for Ardsma.
You wonder why they won the World Series that year. I mean, look at some of the names. Jeff Neiman, who was in Visalia my first year there. First round pick Philip Umber, of course, pitched a perfect game. Lance Pendleton, Craig Stansberry. It's quite a team. 58-12 that year. Well, the first pitch by the former Rice Owl is high. 1 ball and no strikes to count here to Derek Miller. It'll be Miller, Josh Prince, and Kevin Aarons, 9-1-2. The 1-0 here from the right-hander Ardsma. This one misses as well. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Correction, 1-1. Before going to Rice, went to Penn State. That's a tale of 2 different tapes. This one is a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike. Well, number 1 overall that year, Ardsma was pitched 22nd overall. Number 1 was Delman Young. Ricky Weeks, number 2. Tim Stauffer, former Skeeter, picked number 4 overall. This one, a high chopper over the head of Ardsma. It's going to be tough play by Lyons. He throws on the run and just gets Miller. Miller flying down the first base line. Jips missed, just nipped at first by the former Gold Glove winner, Dan Lyons.
And a bit of an swing from Miller, almost turned into an infield single over the head of Ardsma, but really nice charging play by Dan Lyons.
It's a nice 6 points of separation. So Ardsma picked out of Rice, number 1 overall, and he was picked in the 22nd round, and also picked in that same round was John Danks, who was number 9 overall. Danks went to Round Rock High School, the same high school as Derek Miller. Well, back to the top of the order now with Josh Prince. Prince, chief for 4 tonight, takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count. David Murphy also picked in that first round. Brandon Wood picked right behind Ardsma, also a former Skeeter. Most Angel fans will remember him. The 0-1, this one hit to the left side, right at the third baseman, Alfonso. Fires it across to first, and there's 2 down. And I tell you, out of the 14 years I've been broadcasting minor league baseball, I think Brandon Wood was the best player I ever saw.
Really?
Cal League, 40 home runs, 40 doubles, phenomenal shortstop. Even though at the big leagues they moved him over to third, just unbelievable. It's almost a shame to see kind of how his career dipped down when he came here to the Skeeters. And you can still see that little bit of talent that he had left, but just too bad. He did say, though, it was the most fun he'd had in a long time as he played here with the Skeeters and then decided to retire. I guess it's nice to retire in a game you originally loved, then things got bad for you and like it one more time before exiting. No balls and 1 strike the count here on Kevin Aarons. Aarons has reached base 3 times tonight, a hit, a walk, and an error. This one is high and off the mitt of Berg. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. So a battle of former first-round picks. Warsman versus Aarons here. It just shows you the high talent that the Atlantic League gets. A lot of former big leaguers, first-round draft picks. Quite a few of them in the Atlantic League. By the way, the last pick in that first round that Arsman was picked in, Adam Jones.
Ah.
The 1-1. I mean, just think 36 teams passed on Adam Jones.
Adam, yeah. Any other notables in that round, or was Adam Jones really the only one
No,
that?
David Murphy.
There you go.
Connor Jackson. Chad Billingsley.
All right.
Paulus Quinton. Matt Merton. And Jared Saltalamacchia, who has too many letters for his own jersey.
Yeah, he's famous for more than one reason.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I think, doesn't he technically have the most letters in his name for a major league player?
I think he's probably close.
14 letters in his name.
How many does Mark Sepchinski have?
That's a good one. I don't know how to spell that, so I don't know if I can look it up. The 2-2. Swan and a little number to first. Sanko will beat Aarons to the bag, and that'll do it. Skeeters go 1-2-3 as well. Nice appearance by Arsman. But the Skeeters are up 3-0. They are 3 outs away from their second straight shutout of the Ducks. We'll see if they can do it when we get back here in just a moment.
All right, I'm down here on top of the dugout with Ethan. He's ready to take on the Sugar Creek Country Club Golf Chipping Challenge. All right, Ethan, that pull out there's your target whenever you're ready. No one saw that one. It's okay. A little too strong? We'll give you a couple more tries. And we're going to call that as a win. Congratulations, you're going to be the winner of the Golf Chipping Challenge, brought to you by Sugar Creek Country Club. Back up to you, Shane.
Skeeters take a 3-0 lead to the top of the 9th inning, and they'll bring on Mark Haynes in a save situation. So Haynes will come on for the 26th time this year for the Skeeters. He has a 1-1 record, an ERA of 3, 2 saves and 2 chances this year. 24 innings pitched, 21 hits, 12 runs, 16 walks, 27 strikeouts for Haynes. League hitting .236 against the big right-hander, who is also a Rice University product. So pretty interesting to see the Long Island pitcher come on and likely finish the game for the Ducks, and we'll see if Haynes, the former Rice Owl, can finish the game for the Skeeters.
Now, Punisher has really been on a roll. He has not allowed a run in his last 6 appearances. Last time out was against these Ducks in the Skeeters' 4-1 loss. He went 1 perfect inning, did not allow a walk or a hit, struck out 2. Oh, Haynes will deal to Reyes to start it off. First pitch by the former Rice product. This one is down low. Haynes actually played at Rice with former Skeeter Ricky Haig and Danny Lehman, also Anthony Rendon. They set up outside here on Reyes. Haynes kicks and deals the 1-0. Swung and drilled out to right field, but right there is Miller. To his left, backing up, reaches up and brings it down for out number 1. The line shot to Miller. 1 out, none on for Angelo Sanko.
It was right to him, but I think he probably thought that was going to stay a little more put than he initially thought. It started to carry a little bit as the wind took it towards that right field corner.
And those line drives tend to kind of just take off on you. Usually the toughest ball to kind of field to the one hit right at you. The line steps the left-handed hitting Sanko, who is hit into a double play, fouled out, and flied out. Haynes rolls the ball around in his mitt. Will wind and deal, and the fastball is a little bit low. 91 on the gun for the Punisher. Haynes gets the sign here from Cordero. The 1-0. This one brushes back Sanko. He does a little limbo. 2 balls and no strikes. High black for a night game? I'm just saying. More style than substance.
Yeah, just ask Bryce Harper.
Well, even when Harper came in, he had that whole college where they put it on all their cheeks, and apparently one of his teammates said to him, hey, this ain't college anymore.
Calm it down a bit.
You're in the big leagues now. It's not college. And he doesn't really kind of do that much anymore, or at all, really. More war paint than eye black.
I was never an eye black kid when I was coming up in Little League.
You just got a lot of black guys from bullies.
Yep.
This one fouled into the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Haynes joined the Skeeters at the end of last season. Pitching just 3 games, no record of .337 ERA, but he came over from the American Association. Pitched well there. He was their closer in the American Association. Kansas City T-Bones. T-Bone.
Former Laredo Lemur too, right?
That's right, yeah. It's 5-2 at .325 ERA last year with 15 saves in 40 games, 44 and a third. This one swung and missed, strike 3. Strikeout Punisher, and the Skeeters are 1 out away from their 2nd straight shutout. But of course, it's never going to be easy, because to do that, you're going to have to go through Lou Ford. Ford is 1 for 3. He is grounded back to the pitcher, singled, and lined out to third. The Skeeters had a 1-hitter yesterday, and of course, Lou had to get a hitter in the 9th to make it a 2-hitter. Just a parade runner. I've gotten to know Lou here in the Atlantic League over the last 5 years. Great dude, Beaumont, Texas native. And this one is high and outside to Ford. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Former A&M Aggie as well. Went to Dallas Baptist also. Skeeters up 3-0 here in the top of the 9th. The 1-0. This one a fastball strike. Down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Let's say keep your base steady. Well, Ford has really a perfectly balanced stance width-wise and keeps his both feet flat, so really creates that steady base. Probably makes him the great hitter that he is. The 1-1 from Haynes. Swung and slashed foul down the right side. And the Skeeters are one strike away, up 3-0 here in the ninth. Ford steps back in. The Skeeters and the Punisher one strike away here from their second straight shutout. Haynes gets the side here from Cordero. He'll set up outside. The 1-2. Swung on and hit into shallow right field. No man's land. Who's going to get it? Prince can't come up with it. Jan Santi will pick it up. And again, Ford with a base hit in the ninth. You just cannot get what you need when Ford's there late in the game, especially in the ninth. Just a bloop single into right field. And Skeeters will have to wait at least one more batter as the left-handed hitting Mark Kraus will step in. Kraus has popped out to third. He has grounded out to short and struck out last time up. He is 0 for 3. Let's see if the Punisher can finish it off here. 5th hit of the night for the Ducks. Ducks with only 7 hits over the last 17 2/3. Lane's ready to deliver the first pitch here to Kraus. They set up outside. The fastball misses. 92 miles an hour there by the Punisher. 3 runs, 11 hits, and a pair of errors for the Skeeters. No runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Ducks. The 1-0. This one is a little off the outside corner. Wow, didn't miss by much. 2-0. See if Haynes can battle back here. See if Mark can hit his marks. This one, a fastball that misses down low, 3-0. Haynes, who got the first 2 out, a line out to right and a strikeout, now in danger of having 2 on with 2 outs. Alex Berg, the catcher, on deck. Be a righty-righty matchup, at least for Haynes. 3-0. Right down the middle for a strike. 3-1 the count. Another 91-mile-an-hour fastball by Haynes. Skeeters leading 3-0. They're 1 out away. The 3-1. This one, a fastball strike on the inside corner. And again, the Skeeters 1 out away and 1 strike away. Ford will be moving at first on the 3-2 and 2 down. Let's see if Haynes can end it right here. See if he comes back inside with that fastball. Perhaps in worst case scenario, he jams Kraus. The righty from the stretch. Payoff pitch here by the Punisher. He looks at first. He kicks and deals, and this one swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's the game. Strikeout Punisher, and the Skeeters back-to-back shutouts as they shut out the Ducks for the second night in a row, and they also have 20 straight shutout innings against the Ducks now. Final numbers look like this: 3 runs, 11 hits, a pair of errors for Sugar Land, no runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Ducks. We will take a break. We will come back. We'll give you the final numbers. We'll have our player of the game with Andy Humphrey. We'll give you the final numbers, our highlights, and previews tomorrow's Game 7 finale. All that more when we return on the Skeeters post-game show in a moment.